they're safe. Like, I really don't care. Like,
well, that's what submission is. That's what submission is that you.
Down that I think everybody is at some point deserving to receive love and to be even into marriage if they do aspire for marriage.
I believe that society shapes how we view things and how we look at things in our life.
Make your own bed. That's basically what Kevin Samuels is saying. His delivery is what people kind of throws people off. But basically,
aggressive or like violent, like where I think toxic masculinity is
no offense to men, that they also get this idea that, you know, women are just going to take care of them and everything is going to be like easy.
A domestic violence shelter, and he brought her up to be, you know, a $25,000.
Hell yeah, you need to judge in dating. It is what it is. You know, you can't not judge people just because you feel bad about it. Like, you need to know.
As much as I love my daughter, there are some harsh realities and some things that her mother and I teach her in order to help her to understand. And
like, I'm sure everyone knows a woman that, you know, had sex at the table.
What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the CKQ podcast. It's your boy, Dr. John, and I've got a doozy tonight. I'm going to educate some people on what's going on in the world. But first, the former host, because tonight is my channel, I'm going to go ahead and let Clement introduce himself. Go ahead, Clement.
How you doing? My name is Clement. I am a guest. I come on here once a week at 8:30 p.m. Eastern. We go live, and yeah, I hope you enjoyed the show. I'm looking forward to what we're actually going to be talking about today. Not too familiar with the topic, but well, let's see how it goes.
All right, so I'm glad you said that. You're not too familiar with it. So everybody is moving toward a shift, and it actually goes in with some of the stuff that we always talk about in previous podcasts about relationships. But now online dating is a thing. Like, it is officially accepted. Even people like that's in my age category, they're starting to do it. But there's a little bit of danger to it. Okay. It ain't all like roses and bubbles. So before we actually get into it, what Shazupan is, or the pig butcher scheme, because it's a whole scam out there called a pig butcher, and it's the latest and greatest. It originated in China. And
of course,
now, yeah, everything originates over there, right? Like, I mean, you know, COVID, we still all this shit, right? So,
all of it.
But the Chinese have done a good job of really getting it's making its way to America. Like, it's headed this way. What's up, to Madre? How you doing?
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year to you as well. But it's making its way over to America and other areas, and it's taking people by storm. So before we get into anything else, I want to play a little reaction real quick to kind of sum this thing, kind of get you some context behind what we're talking about, so you can see, you know, just how important it is for people to know. All right.
Okay.
So let's go to.
You know, China actually scammed a lot of people with that. There was a facial cream. You've probably seen it. Probably it still is out. But it was a facial cream where it's like, it's supposed to be like avocado paste. And apparently when you put it on your face, in like after like 10 minutes or an hour or something like that, black dots start like, which is supposed to be your blackheads, start coming out.
Really?
And it was a scam. Yeah, it was a scam, and it caught a lot of people because a lot of people bought it and nothing happened.
Really?
But people can't really sue them because they're a company all the way over there, and there's nothing they really do. And because people make reactions videos from it, all the scammers keep taking the reaction videos and keep using them on their commercials.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy. But it got a lot of people because people care about their looking good.
Blooming Ebony's in the house.
Hey, Chris.
Hi. Sorry I'm late.
Nah, you fine. All right. So fair use. Let's get into the video.
She joined the dating site Hinge. She says she soon met a man named Hal, and they became friends.
He started asking questions about my family and my past experiences.
It was a connection that felt even stronger, she says, when he told her he came from the same town in China from where Hutchinson was adopted.
We kind of bonded over that.
Soon, she says, he was telling her about one of his hobbies, cryptocurrency investing, and he suggested she too could invest.
I'm like, I've never invested in my life. I don't know anything about cryptocurrency either. So I was very skeptical.
Not to worry, he said in a text, this is my field. I can be your teacher. First, he told her to create an account on a legitimate site, crypto.com. Then he sent her a link and told her to transfer money there to what he said was a cryptocurrency exchange platform. She started small, but says soon she was investing larger amounts, $26,000, $49,000, $73,000.
He just kept saying things of like, look at this money that can help support your family. Obviously, that's what I've wanted to do.
When her account began showing profits, she suggested to her father that he invest too, so he did. By December, their accounts showed a combined balance of $1.2 million, and Hutchinson decided it was time to cash out. That's when the site told her before she could withdraw her money, she'd have to pay a hefty tax bill of roughly $380,000.
That's when I was like, something's not right.
It wasn't. The cryptocurrency investments weren't real. All her and her father's funds had gone into the scammers' pockets. In all, $390,000 stolen.
I messed up my life. I messed up my dad's life.
She told me that it was all a scam.
Hutchinson's father, Melvin.
And all I could do was just hug her and tell her, it's okay. It's okay. And it was hard. It was hard because we lost everything.
They're not alone. A new report finds just in 2021, cryptocurrency scam victims lost more than $7.7 billion.
Anybody that's really trying hard to get you to invest in cryptocurrencies has a motive.
Rich Sanders investigates cryptocurrency scams as co-founder of company Cypherblade.
You're on mute, doctor.
I'm gonna stop it right there. And by the look in Clement's face, reading his body language and everything, I told you, my boy, this is a lot bigger than what people think it is. That's why I said it's trending. It is something that needs to be talked about, something that people, because here's the thing, bro. As you can see, this woman is not an idiot. She's not an uneducated person. She's well educated. Dad was actually investment savvy. That's the see. I saw the whole documentary of her. Okay. I saw that whole documentary. She knew she was smart. She's really bright. Dad, he didn't see anything wrong with it. You feel me? But they lost $390,000. So my first question that I'm gonna pose to the panel is this. I'm too smart to be tricked. Fact or cap? I'm too smart to be tricked like that. Fact or cap? That's why I played the video first.
I mean, if you're talking about me, it's all cap, my friend. It's all cap.
It's all cap. So you believe you could get tricked?
Oh, I could easily get tricked. Very, very easily. Very, very easily.
Yeah,
it's not hard to trick people, unfortunately, because you just dangle the carrot. You can be the savior for your family. Everybody wants to look like the hero. Everybody wants to help someone. Everybody wants to help their family. So that's unfortunate, extremely unfortunate that the family went through that. It's
bad because you saw their house now. That RV, that's what they live in. That's what they live in. Yeah, that's what they live in. They literally have nothing.
I thought that was a thrifty little background.
No, that's theirs. That's where they live, right there. That's the kind of financial damage that this thief caused them. That this piece of scum caused them. Chris, what you think? I'm too smart. Won't never happen to me. Is that factor cap? And I don't mean you, like, I want you to give your perspective and tell me like how Clement did about himself. But I'm really speaking to somebody. Because somebody out there, man, how you lose $390,000? It would never happen to me. Well, yeah, you ain't got $390,000. And if you did, and you were on them and you were vulnerable, I'll say, you're not married, you're single. And even if you are married, even if we'll go down that road. No, but go ahead, Chris. Go ahead. Go ahead.
It's definitely cap. They almost got me once. I didn't actually give up any money, but it was one of the IRS scams. I was at work, and it sounded so believable. I left work and everything. I was like, oh my God, I'm going to jail. So I left work and went to my boss. I have to have an emergency. I left work. I was freaking out. And then he started saying something really, he said, go to this gas station and buy this card. And I was like, this is a scam. I was already running around the city, okay, I get to the Department of Revenue, freaking out, and I realized, oh my gosh, this is a scam. And I was so embarrassed. I already left work, and I was an intern at the time, and I know people that fell for it too that actually did lose thousands of dollars. I knew this exchange student. I felt so bad for him because he didn't really speak English that well, and they got him, and he lost so much money.
Man, I'm glad you mentioned it, and I'm so glad you mentioned that because I'm not picking on you, but just remind everybody what it is you do. What are you?
I'm a taxi accountant. This is what I'm doing, underwriting.
And this is not anything against Chris. What I want you to understand that the people who were running that particular scam, and I'm very familiar with that scam, are dumb people. They're not even smart. But the people who running this, what I'm talking about, Shazoo Pun, they have a team of psychologists. They have scripts. They have management. They take TOs when you don't know what to do. You break contact with the pig, because you're the pig, and you go and get a manager, and the manager reads the whole transcript of what you've been writing, and they go to the psychologist, and he tells you what to elicit next. You understand? What to do next and what to say next. So if the first part of the scam that Chris was talking about could have a tax accountant running around the damn city until they said they fucked up and said, go get this card. Retarded. But had they had a professional way to funnel that money, Chris would have got.
Yeah. That's scary.
And this is her field. So what makes you think that you're safe and you know absolutely nothing? Because see, this don't happen. This thing is broken down in phases. This is not one, it doesn't work like, hey, why don't you go do this? No, baby. The first phase is fattening the pig. Fattening the pig. That's the first phase. That's where they court you. They say the law of attraction. The first thing that they do is build a common bond. If you've never been cheated on, do you know anybody that's never been cheated on?
I don't think I've ever been cheated on.
Okay. Do you know a lot of people that hadn't been cheated on?
I think so.
Nah, just about everybody been cheated on at least once. Maybe they don't know. But if you're
Really?
on a dating site, more than likely you didn't. If I was on a dating site and I said, oh, I'm here because I got cheated on, that's probably gonna mirror you. I too have got cheated on. I too have got, that's called the mirror technique. And it don't have to be cheating, it could be anything. It could be anything. Because see, here's the thing, person who asks the question leads the conversation. That's why the host asked all the questions. You're leading the conversation. So the person that doesn't change in normal, conversational dialogue out in public. The person who asking the question leads the conversation. So what's your goal for here? Why did you come to this site? And it's not just dating sites. It's Instagram. It's Facebook. They out there. They out here. And they don't, the ones that's a part of this, they don't hit you with that hello and get right into it. No, boy. They build a strong relationship. Hey, they suggest things.
Build that rapport.
Yeah, they build that rapport. Like they might do something like, hey, Chris, let's say we found some common grounds, and it's like, I studied accounting when I was in college, and it was just too hard for me. But I applaud your efforts. You were able to go and you become a tax accountant and everything like that. So do you like it? Like, is it cool? And then you'll tell me whatever you tell me. I'm like, man, you're really, you're really, really smart. Well, I do this, blah, 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 blah. And as do you have a real, like, one of those high grade memberships, or have you not joined yet? And you'll say no. Hey, let's go over to a different, like, WhatsApp, so we don't have to get the high grade memberships, because I don't plan on being on this site long. I am greasing you up, moving you on over to WhatsApp, or a main one scammers like to use is not just the WhatsApp, is Telegram. Both of those sites are double encrypted back and front, right? Both is two-way encrypted, right? So they move you over there, and you don't think nothing about it, because, like, you don't want to get the premium membership so you have unlimited chats. You would, because you kind of, you want to move with this person. You probably, whatever you like about them. But then once you get over there, and then they talk to you, and they say, well, it's getting late. I've got work tomorrow. Good night. I enjoyed talking to you. Let's do it again tomorrow. You don't think shit about that? Nothing. They don't come right into it. And that's part of the playbook. But we'll get into that later. I want to get into this next question.
I think I wanted to say something. I think it's when most people get scammed, because I've been scammed before. Mm-hmm. It's embarrassing to talk about, because no one ever wants to talk about that. Like, damn, like I've been scammed before. You know what I mean? Like, it's like I got taken as a sucker. You know what I mean? But that's all I want to say.
It is embarrassing. It would be embarrassing. I'm trying to think. I've not gotten scammed yet. I'm just gonna say yet. I'm not gonna say it's never gonna happen. I don't believe in saying that, but I've not gotten scammed yet. Not yet. All right. So my next question. Men are so stupid. Shazu Pan or the Pig Butcher will only work on them. What you think about that, Ebony? Is that fact or cap? I mean, it's a romance scheme. It's a romance scam.
Romance scheme? No, I feel like it's mostly going to work on women. I feel like women, yes, but women are the ones that want the romance, that want the relationships and all of that. So they finally, their ex has been cheating on them. They've all been emotionally unavailable. They go online, they find that one guy that's finally talking to them. He always replies, never ghosts them. They're like, oh, I find this is my time. I knew waiting till I was 35 after my career happened. That was the best. Look at this. God finally brought him. And then nowadays, women are the ones that think talking is something special. Like, oh, I've been talking to this guy and they think that it's actually going to turn into something big. Like, I think it's gonna get women more. This romance scandal is probably gonna get them more. I think it's gonna get a few men, you know. But I think some men are kind of like, if this woman doesn't want to meet me, I think men have been catfished so much, you know, with women, you know, posting a picture of them thin, but then they're really, really big in real life. So they can kind of tell, like, this is too good to be true. But women, I think we get them.
Women want the sweet words. Women want the sweet words. Yeah. I mean, for sure, it's gonna be women. The romance is where it's at. I mean, if it was just a regular good old catfishing, then you could probably get more guys. But the fact that it's romance, the fact that it's drawn out, taking time to get to know this person, really teaching them too. It really plays a lot against women too, because you're going to be taking time to get to know them, asking them questions, and teaching them. Women love a man that could teach them things. So now they feel like, okay, wow, I'm getting all this knowledge from this person too. They're building a much stronger connection, and they see like growth happening. It's a good plan. It's a well thought out plan. It's scary.
Yeah, it is. It is very scary. And what you just said was theoretical. And you used the word what? Teacher.
Yeah.
The video, he was coached to use the word, I will be your teacher. Because women like to even hear that word, teacher. It's the little bitty things. And both of you are right. It's women. Women get scammed 75% of the time in this scam, 75% of the time versus men 25%. 75% women, 75%. And that's crazy because when I was watching other videos about it, they all had dogs and were divorced or never married. I was like, damn.
They had the Kevin
from the grave. Kevin is speaking from the grave. I'm like, hey, look, y'all better come under the protection of a man. You walk around here talking about something. I put my career first. Somebody gonna get that damn money. Keep on playing. Think it's a game.
The Kevin Samuels special prevails. That's sad.
All right.
Dang.
Last question. The tactics that the scammers are using can only be recognized by a trained psychologist. Fact or cap?
No.
All right. So you say it's cap?
No, I don't think you need a trained psychologist. I think someone that's also been into sales could probably actually pick up on that.
I don't know.
Really?
I don't know. You wait till I get that other video in here, and you gonna back up off of that one.
I would think salespeople would probably know. A salesperson will kind of know when they're being pitched to, you know.
Some salespeople barely fucking know when to ask for the money. Like a lot of salespeople ruin sales. Like well, you know, I have a black card. They told you earlier you had a black card and all this, and then, or, well, I'm gonna get my settlement money next week, and I want to come back in here and get it. Oh, can you put $1,000 down? Because it might not be here. It'd be the first go to. But when you get slick and you advance, I'm like, I'll tell you what we could do. We could go ahead and finance it today. You could pay it off next week because principal times time equals interest. If you pay it off that soon, way ahead of the term, you're not going to pay any interest. So it's basically like you're just borrowing the money to cover yourself until you get your main money in. I can get that filled up full of gas for you. So you want to
explain the benefit,
right?
Yeah.
Right. Nah, nigga, you could die next week. No, this shit closing today. Today. You understand? If you die next week in my way, that's between you, God, and the bank. If you die next week the other idiot's way, well, guess what? We got to give your family that $1,000 back. Ain't no car being sold. It was a promise. I don't do promises. I do commitments. Do you understand me? Fuck a promise ring. I'm either going to marry you or I'm not. You going to buy it or you're not. That's the
commitment to commission. You're right.
Okay, you either going home with me or you ain't. We either a boyfriend and girlfriend or we not. You understand? Like commitment, commit. Period. Kid, Chris, what you thinking? What you thinking?
Yeah, I think it's cap. I think if there's any gap in someone's knowledge, you can be scammed. Like with me, I was at the time, I had never filled out like a tax return. I was still dependent. So I've never done taxes before. And so I didn't know that the IRS wants to get in touch with you. They're only going to email you. For me, a phone call seemed reasonable. And it was just that one little gap in my knowledge they were able to seep in. So I think it can be anyone. If you don't know enough about something to know that there's a certain process in which it's supposed to be done, you're like, for example, those people that got scammed, if maybe they didn't check for something like FDIC to making sure that it was actually federally insured, little things like that you miss. And if it's not your area of expertise, you can get scammed just like everybody else.
All right. So
wait, hold on. Wait, did Chris answer it though?
What?
I said cap.
Oh, you can cap. Oh, okay. So
she said
she doesn't take a trained psychologist. It's just Okay, my bad.
I guess I got it wrong. I kind of answered it wrong, I think. So my answer is not all. I think I was answering as though like only trained psychologists, like they can't get scammed. Is that what the question is?
No, the tactics that the scammers are using can only be recognized by trained psychologists.
Okay, I did answer it wrong, Clement. Thank you. But I think still cap.
Yeah, cap is still the answer, but I think
the reason was the wrong. Yeah, thank you. I don't want to explain more.
All right.
So I'm gonna say cap.
No problem. No problem. Hold on 1 second. Just give me just 1 second. We're gonna go on and jump into this other one right here, right quick, real fast.
Where's Unique at?
This is a great. She coming. This is a great segue.
Operation, also the sophistication of the techniques are nothing like before.
I invested close to 50K into this investment platform. Within 2 days, it's gone.
So these love scams are called pig butchering scams, or 杀猪盘 in Chinese. So scammers refer to their victims as pigs, whereby they would fatten up the pig by developing a relationship before slaughtering the pig when they have scammed all their money. It's more insidious in a way because victims are not directly giving money to their online fake lovers, but instead scammers would convince victims to invest money for their own good. A lot of these victims are highly educated professionals as well, so they could be working in fields like medicine, accountancy, and even law. So in Cambodia, we managed to reach out to scammers through the help of anti-scam organizations. These organizations shared copies of actual work scripts obtained from scam syndicates. What I'm going to do in this video is highlight some of the tactics in these work scripts that you can look out for, so that you can tell if someone you met online might be trying to scam you.
Hey, Huntsville. Google Fiber is expanding in your area. We're bringing award-winning gigabit internet to thousands of new addresses in your city. Check your availability at fiber.google.com.
Now scammers are recruited from all over Asia in countries like China, Thailand, and Malaysia. Around 2016, the first targets were victims in China and Taiwan. But as the awareness of these scams increased, it becomes harder to scam victims there. So syndicates expanded their scope to target victims in America, Europe, Japan, and even Singapore. So Singapore became one of the key targets because our awareness is not as high, and also because there are plenty of wealthy people here. The first step that scammers would take is to 寻猪, to identify the pig, or basically potential victims, and they would find victims in social media and dating sites like OkCupid, CMB, Tinder. According to this data by Gaso, 2 in 5 victims were targeted by scammers on Facebook-linked platforms like Instagram and WhatsApp. And say if you're a business owner who has posted your contact details online, they may even pose as potential customers to try to talk to you through WhatsApp. Scammers are instructed to chat casually with the victims to dig out personal information from them.
第一天主要培训的内容就是获取客户的个人信息， 姓名、年龄、国籍、有没有车子、房子、存款、有没有结婚。
Scammers are reminded to dig out information indirectly from the victims so that they wouldn't feel like they're being interrogated. So for instance, if they want to find out how wealthy you are, they may ask you a casual question like, how far is your home from your office? So if you say something like, it's not very far because I drive to work, then they would have an indication that you are able to afford a car. And one of the documents here say that if a victim earns less than 2,000 USD per month, then the scammer may drop this victim because the payoff is less. And from the documents, we find that they actually have a daily breakdown of what they should say and how they should say it to sustain your interest. That begins the process of 养猪, which is to groom the pig by developing a relationship. This process can take anywhere from days to months, which is what one of our victims in the episode Mavis experienced.
For about 4 months, we will talk on the phone every night, at least a good half an hour to 1 hour. Sometimes he will invest more time during the day and chat with me. I didn't suspect anything at all.
So there are various tactics that scammers can use to get emotionally closer to you. So they call this 话术, which is conversation techniques. So one of the things they will do is to try to share a similar interest with you. Whatever your interests are, be it traveling, golf, or tea, they would have a cheat sheet of what to talk to you about so as to sustain your interest. And this is also the time whereby they will go into deeper topics like your past relationships. And one technique that they will use is the mirroring technique. So if they wish for you to open up more about your past relationships, they will try to do it first by sharing about stories like if their ex cheated on them or if they went through a divorce. So when you try to share your stories with them, then they will comfort you emotionally to deepen the relationship with you.
他们讲的就是说用3个字概括，叫摄心术。每个人内心当中都有一份需求，我们按照他的内心的那种需求去达到他心理上的一种满足。像离异的，就跟他了解他孩子的情况啊。
当你知道他内心需求的时候，也就是他最脆弱的时候，对吧？
对，是的。
So some people may say like, how can people fall for these stories because they're so fake, right? But in these work scripts, the scammers are told specifically to remain a sense of realness. As with all relationships, they might even pretend to argue with you to make it more believable. Like for instance, if you are skipping meals and not taking care of yourself, or you're spending too much time with the opposite sex. One of the documents actually say here that in order to avoid suspicion, scammers should be the one to ask victims whether they can meet up or video call them first. And when the date comes, they would then come up with excuses to say that they can't make it.
My friend used to pay $163 for car insurance. Now look how much he pays.
All right. So, do you still want to maintain and hold on to your questions? I'm just asking.
What do you mean?
Do you still want to maintain your answer? Because what she talking about is some really indirect shit. Like you just not gonna recognize it. You just ain't gonna it's just not gonna pick up. Even the interviewing process. Those are normal questions that you would ask somebody. And to be honest with you, I've been on personal dates where the damn woman sounded like face-to-face dates where she sounded like a damn drill sergeant or a police officer interrogating you. Because she asks you, what kind of car do you drive? They don't ask you what kind of car you drive. They just want to find out if you have a car. And they don't even ask you, do you own a car? They just ask you, do you work? Or do you, how far is your commute to work? That's so open.
Yeah.
But it allows you to go on and elaborate. And then and some people are even brag. Oh, I drive my Benz. Da 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 da. Oh, Oh, you definitely the pig. We done identified your ass. Let's get into it. What was that question? Is this a new thing to them? Who is them?
I have no idea. I don't know.
No, it's not really. I don't know, but I'll just answer the new thing part. Romance scams has like been around for a very long time, like for years and years and years and years. One of the most simplest romance scams is today my birthday. And that's an in-person one. You take a dollar and you pin it right here and you just walk around town. Today my birthday. And it works real well with women.
People give you money when you say that?
Yeah. That's why you started off with $1. You put $1 or $2 right here. Now, if you really want to juice it up, today my birthday, I've been getting dollars, but I'm grateful. I'm gracious. Anything will help.
You beat them emotionally. Just smack their emotions. Yo, that's sinister, man. That's sinister.
And then you'll get a $5 bill. You might get a 20. Jay got 100. I shouldn't have said that. I'm just saying. That
I mean, anything that plays on people's emotions does work. My buddy and was a buddy. It's kind of scummy guy, but in high school on Valentine's Day, he went all around saying, "Hey, I don't have any money. I'm trying to buy some flowers for my mom. You know, do you think you guys give me a quarter or $1?" And this was in high school. So everyone always, quarter here, quarter there. Man ended up racking like 50 something dollars. Mm-hmm. He wasn't actually gonna buy his mom anything. Mm-mm. But yeah, it's crazy. Mm-mm. It's crazy. It works. Anything that focuses on people's emotions.
So it's two things that you just need to remember about everything. It's a principle. I follow it. Okay. Perception is reality, and perception influences judgment. These are your cognitions. Perception is reality, and perception influences your judgment. Period. Facts. Those are facts. See, if I perceive you to be a professional, whatever, I am more likely, my judgment is going to have me call on you for certain questions that's in that field. If I put on a white lab coat and a stethoscope around my neck without having any markings that say MD anything, I could literally come up to you. Oh, excuse me. I couldn't help but notice that you have a little bit of jaundice setting in your eyes. Have you had a physical lately? Have you come into contact with anyone with hepatitis? Yeah. No, I don't know. No. Well, here's a card to a colleague or a friend of mine or a doctor, and go see him, get yourself in a check, but you do what you want to do. I'm going right now. And it's going to weigh on his brain the whole time. Why? Because I don't have to tell him I'm a doctor. He's going to assume I'm a doctor. But I could be a nurse with a lab coat on. Or I could just be wearing a lab coat with no markings, and I like him wearing a stethoscope or carrying one.
Salute to Uncle Stu in the chat.
What's up, Uncle Stu? So it's all about perception. And these facts, right? Is these two principles that these tactics they play on.
Wait, hold on. What does Simon mean by that? You need to take into account the culture differences, EMEA regions.
Let me tell you something. Culture and all that ain't gonna have nothing to do with this. This is one thing that's culturally has no effect on it. That means nothing. Because everybody in every culture wants love. Everybody in every culture wants somebody to love. I don't care where you're born, nobody was born out their mama. I don't want love. I just want to be forever by myself, forever and ever and ever and ever and ever. It don't work like that. And it's not like this. It's way more complex. The video is really long, but it really gets into it. Really gets into the scripts. It really gets into the video is like 30 minutes long, and I didn't really want to play it all at one time. I might go back to it in a little bit, but I didn't want to play it all at one time. But it was very, very interesting. The amount how it breaks stuff down. That's what I was I was like just floored. I was like, the first time I watched it, my face was like your face, Clement. I was like, oh my God.
Yeah, it's a full on, like, they are taking people for everything they got.
This is a multi-billion-dollar industry. You seen how much they put? 7.7 billion? Bro, that was just in this scam, these type scams. 7.7 billion? And you say, well, how can they have easy? Okay, so if there was another technique. So when you grooming the pig and you building the trust, once you get to the middle phase, is where you can go ahead and start prepping the pig to be slaughtered, right? So you grooming the pig, building trust. Now
you're talking to them, feeding them sweet nothings, building relationship,
all of that, right? You got the relationship built. This is all working off the theories of attraction and everything else. They're using nothing but psychology in this. Okay. So then the next phase is where you go in and you're about to extract. This is the extraction phase. And the way that works is he would casually bring up one day, let's say I've been talking to Chris for 2 months, right? And our video, now keep in mind, I might do something like this. Chris, you got off from work, I hit you up, what you doing? Nah. I can't wait to see you. Can I call you? I'm the scammer. Can I call you now, or should I wait till you get home? Oh, no, it's fine. Call me now. Hey, I missed you. I got something I want to show you when you get home. A hobby of mine. Okay, that's cool. All right. Well, I don't want to keep you while you're driving. So I'll chat with you then. Boop. Now, I might give Chris access to maybe my IG page. On my IG page, I will have a professional put, this is my house, this, all this shit on there, right? I have pictures with me wearing a $4,000, $15,000 watch, right? Something to make, I want her to finally ask me, how did I get it? What do I do?
That's when you got them hooked.
Yeah. When she asks me, she's letting me know when I can go to the next phase. She will, not me. She will. She's gonna let me know. And here's another kicker. So when Chris comes to me and she says, well, John, I noticed that you had some sunglasses. It was like $500 or something like that, because my girlfriend told me, I showed her to you. And she said you was cute too, by the way. And then, right, I'm like, oh no. Well, the only, my main job is but I do have a little hobby on the side to earn extra money, because like I told you, I want to be married and I want to be ready for marriage. Okay. Well, what's that? What hobby is that? Well, I mean, I like to trade. I like to trade crypto. Oh, I don't know about that. It is, and I wouldn't. But whenever you want to learn, I'll teach you. Okay? But tonight won't be that time, because I need to go and set my own trades up. But you think about it, if you want to learn it, that would be pretty cool. We could trade together, And that right there is to lower your defenses, right? To lower your defenses so you ain't thinking about shit. At this point, anybody who was on the outside like, Chris, this could be a scam. Ain't no damn scam. What you mean? You just jealous. You hating. Ain't no scam. How you know? He talked to me on the phone. I wake up to him every morning. I go to bed with him every night. He always said, have you met him yet? No, we working on that. We working on that. He got that man busy. Okay? My man rocking Prada, Gucci, Louis, okay? You don't worry about yourself. This is what you do. You worry about yourself. Oh, all right then. Have you ever seen him at least on video? Yeah. He called me on the way home every day. Called you one time. Every day. Hell. Only called once. I got in the pot, boy. She ready.
In denial.
The next day, guess what Chris do? I guess what I do. I get on the call with her and I pull up this fake ass website and I start letting her see me earn money. Oh, I got that ass now, boy. She curious. She real curious. I said, so what you think? Well, Chris, what would be your natural response right there? I keep ad-libbing for you. What would be your natural response?
Keep going, because I want to stop talking to you after 2 weeks. I had a very strict dating rule, so you can keep going. You're good. It goes to you. Like, it's been a week. I haven't met you yet. Bye. I would just go to you. So.
But let's say that you didn't have that rule, never had that rule, and this guy's really interesting, and he's got you where you just say you don't have that rule, right? What would be your next response? So he's showing you how much money he's making. He's actually got a live trader up. He's trading on the thing himself. And he may make a gesture like, damn, I lost a little bit today. But normally I win. Normally I make more money than this. But I did lose a little bit. But overall, it was a good day. Would that make you curious to learn more about it? Especially if you consider being with this dude? Or would you just say, nah, buddy, you just keep the trading up to you?
Yeah, I'm a bad example. I would like.
You're a bad example because you would. That's why I put that second part in there, because you might just be like, nah, you just keep that trading.
Other women wouldn't do it.
Say what?
Yeah, I'm not saying other women wouldn't. I feel like most the typical response would be like, oh, I would love to get into this. How can I do it?
All right. So if they, and at that point, now here's the next part. You ready for this, Clement and Chris? You ready for this? I tell you what. One of my jobs is to protect you at all times. So what I'm gonna do is, you put in $150. I'm gonna put in 500, but I'm gonna give you everything that we make. Oh, I got your goddamn ass now, Mr. Man. Oh, you got 90 motherfucking % of the people who did it. Everybody's hooked at that point. Everybody. Because what's gonna happen is, he's so confident that you're gonna put in 150 and he's gonna pay out you $1,000, right? Because he know he finna get 10 times that. He's investing money to make money.
Yeah.
Perception is reality, and it clouds your judgment, and it works your judgment. So the moment he did that, you mean to tell me I'm gonna put, yeah. So what I do is I wire you $500 and put the trust. I have to trust you. I send you $500, tell you to open up this account, and tell you to put it on this platform, the platform that I'm gonna get your money from anyway. The one that I trade on all the time. That me and 2 other people work.
The
Happy
pig.
New Year.
Happy New Year. Happy New Year to you. Happy New Year to Uncle Stu in the chat. Happy New Year to Simon in the chat. Happy New Year to all you people. You beautiful people. You beautiful bastards.
I swear.
I'm sorry.
Wow.
I'm late.
No worries. No worries. Over here learning with Shazul Pan.
Yeah.
This is scary, man. I'm very happy I got off social media and dating apps when I did, because this just seems like the world's just getting a little too hostile and crazy.
It is.
Like,
It is. I mean, that's everything that I'm explaining to you is the same steps that they use over and over, and it has worked. It has worked. It has worked. It has worked over and time and time and time again. Like, it just works, and it's all about. That's why I pose that question. The tactics that they use will only be recognized by. I didn't mean like it could only work if you. It couldn't work unless you were trained. Only only a trained psychologist could avoid it.
Yeah.
But even a trained psychologist would have a hard time avoiding it. But they would recognize. They should recognize those tactics, because these are all based off psychological theories of attraction. I'm telling you, mirror technique. That's all about how you attract another person. That's how you build deeper, stronger relationship. We talk about it when you're talking about emotional IQ.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it can even be used in therapy to build a better marriage. To start over, depending on what the situation was with the marriage. Like maybe y'all just kind of growing apart a little bit. Then y'all sit down and y'all sit down and y'all share past non-related events that y'all share. So the therapist would find that out on a one-on-one with each one of y'all, and then y'all would discuss it all together, so that you get back in a common bond, so that you share a common thing, and then you feel, you like two people. You know how they say misery love company? Not to say that somebody went through something that's miserable. I'm just saying it's easy to go through something hard with somebody else, and you already got that somebody with you. So it could reignite that marriage. So it can be used as a technique. It can be used as therapy as well, as a way to get somebody to open up to you in the dating world. And in this case, open you up to get scammed.
Big time.
I don't trust nobody. So ain't nobody scamming me.
I've been waiting for this one to come on here.
I don't. Ask my brother.
Nah, Yannick is slow to trust.
Very. I overthink everything.
Yannick is slow to trust. But if these guys have been known to stay into these things for like, if you that right person and they figure out that you worth the payoff, they have stayed years. They've stayed years. Yeah.
Without ever seeing anyone, though.
Nah, they might do it. They might let you see them. It depends. You might meet somebody.
Why would they let you see them? Then
the tender swindler met every damn body.
That's true. He did. And he took like 50, 100 grand from women. Like he took crazy money from them.
But he would disappear though, right?
Ain't no he would. He disappeared after he took everybody for their money.
Mm-hmm.
But if these are set up companies and shops, you won't be in that area all the time.
Nah,
if you meet with somebody in that area.
I don't know how his thing went. His was totally different than this.
Oh,
this was something completely different. This right here is very, very complex. Now, it can work two different ways. So when the part that I left off at is when, I'm gonna give you the money and put the trust in your court. I gotta trust you, but you gonna load it back up in the site where I got people. That's my site, but you don't know that's my site. You have no idea. And what you're gonna think is, and the whole reason I gave you the money to do it, so you wouldn't think like that. That's what I'm trying to tell you. I limit what you got to question with. You feel me? Like I'm giving you the money. You give me $150. I'm sending you $500 of my money, and whatever we make, I'm giving you the profit. So we're gonna go over there. We're gonna manipulate the numbers. It's gonna say profit for today $1,000, and I'm gonna send that to you. You're gonna withdraw from it. and you can get the money. And here's the talk. Oh my God, girl, I met this dude. Honey, he's good looking. He works at such and such. He trades. He got money. He got this type house. Da, 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 da. He called me. He's so sweet. And he even is teaching me how to trade. He a leader. Well, how do you know he sent me money to put in there. And then we made $1,000 and he gave me all of it. Bitch, I'm gonna marry this nigga. Bitch, I'm gonna marry this nigga. This nigga, we get married.
Can I say something? Has anybody seen that movie, A Fall from Grace?
Yeah, I have. Woo!
Lord,
have mercy, Jesus. Woo!
That's how
he took everything. You hear
was
me?
that how
I think so, but he took everything.
A Fall from Grace.
A Fall from
It's
Grace.
a Tyler Perry movie. Yes, it's a Tyler Perry movie.
And it's a very good one. It was a very, very good
What
one.
happened in that? What happened in, is that the one? No. I think that was like Passion or something. What happened in that one?
That wasn't the one with the popular girl. What's her name? Taraji. Not that one. It was
Okay, I think that's the one I'm thinking about.
older dark-skinned woman, she played in a lot of stuff. She was beautiful. He, kind of seduced her like what John is saying and married her.
Oh, she was older, and they met at the art gallery.
Guy. Yeah.
He took her to the art gallery.
Yeah. And
Yeah,
guess what did he do in the
yeah.
art gallery? Tell me what he did in the art gallery. What did he do in the art gallery?
I can't remember.
He made her think that he knew way more about this stuff than what he really did.
That's true.
That's what he did in the art gallery. Perception is reality, and it manipulates your judgment.
Yeah.
That whole lighting, that whole light scene, romantic, beautiful, da-da. But he did that for everybody.
Yep.
He did that for everybody.
Every single woman.
You know what you gotta have to be a great scammer? The ability to influence judgment through perception. That's the same thing you have to be a great salesman. The ability to influence judgment through perception.
Through perception.
If you come off like a professional, you come off like a expert in your field on these particular whatever it is you're selling, you know you got them when they start asking your advice.
Mm-hmm.
And
And most of the time they
locked in.
Most of the time they're going to try to, when it comes to sales, most of the time they're already going to try to question your intellect. And then the second you hit them with their answer and then a little bit more and then some extra that they weren't expecting, then that's where they're already caught. That's it.
Yeah.
And here's a little bit of tidbit for you too. By the way, if you do this, this, and this will prevent this.
Mm-hmm.
You gave them their answer and then some. Yeah.
And
Scary.
see, a lot of the tactics that I would use was tactics of indifference. Like, I don't care if you buy it or not. Like, I could care less.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not I'm not selling desperate.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it helped that, by the 16th, I already had 24 cars out. That really helped me be indifferent because I really didn't give a fuck if you bought it or if you didn't buy it.
Yeah.
I mean, I really did. And they could sense that. Now I was polite, I was professional and everything like that. But I would do some weird shit like here, you like with engineers, you know way more about this car than I could ever tell you. So why don't you do this? Take you and your wife, y'all just go drive it. We'll get a copy of your insurance card, driver's license. It's a nice, lovely steak restaurant down here. Dinner's on me. I've got another client that's coming in, but that'll be quick. But this way you can really enjoy the car the way you want to and go ahead and show it to whoever you're going to show it to once you make the purchase. But go ahead, stakes on me. I put the money there, it was a distractor. I planted the seed, whoever you're going to show it to after you buy the car today. Trial closed, giving him to the ability to say, well, no, I don't want to drive nothing because I'm not buying nothing today. An engineer will say that. But if he take it, I know I got a sale, and I'm going to sit in the building and relax and just wait till they get back because I ain't got nobody coming in. I lied.
Sale.
But I don't want to be with him by being indifferent. I was like, damn, he didn't even go with us. See, I'm being indifferent, but I'm empowering him. See, engineers got an ego. So you got to stroke that thing. You got to stroke the ego. And see, scammers know all this shit. They know that. They know what they got to do with you once they figure. You got to understand, people who are in this field can have your ass sized up within 10 questions, and they know everything they need to do to your ass. They know what to say, when to say it, how to say it, everything. Didn't you hear what that woman said? They work off of scripts. On day 2, that when I didn't get to the part where it said they sent 2 pictures that look like this. 2 pictures with this in them. 1 picture of you doing this. That's how deep the shit go. Like, this is some real deal Holyfield shit. I cannot believe it. To get $7.7 billion damn dollars in a year, nigga, just in 2021, nigga, that's elaborate. That's elaborate. Oh, with no arrest, with 0 arrests. Nobody got their money back. 7.7 billion unaccounted for dollars.
I heard Bloom and Ebony talking about the IRS scam. Somebody tried to do me like that too. And because I have a tax lady, I immediately called her right after the phone call. She was like, no, that's a scam. They're going to email you or they're going to like send you a letter or something. They're not going to call you.
Yeah.
Some emails, you can't even trust that either. She was just like, they'll send you a letter. Yeah, they'll send you a letter.
So if you're like getting an EIN and you tell them, I want this electronically, then you'll get an email. But I think outside of that, no. Mail.
I don't know. I don't even trust mail, to be honest with you. I don't.
Nobody mails anything anymore. Emails are really, because I have emails from, it'll say that it has to deal with Amazon, but it's really somebody else saying that I bought something that cost this and it's on its way. And I'm like, I know I ain't buy this.
But if what, if I was a scammer, I would go back to mail because I can make your ass. You are so used to not looking at mail. I could have a fake ass letter in that bitch and get you to do some shit you shouldn't have done.
Yeah, that's true. Type urgent right on it, so people are gonna want to open it up quick.
There was an African that I knew over in Germany that was serving time. He was one of the female lawyer that I worked for over there, one of her clients. He and 2 other people did something very similar. They fluffed and made it look like, if I can remember, it's been a long time. Long story short, on paper, it looked like this nigga had the other half of $1 million. On paper. The investor, who did have $500,000, sent this to an account, right? That on the face of the outside looking in, he thought that account number and routing number went to. Now remember, there was no internet. There was no putting. You had to know. You just had to take somebody's word for this route number. This route number went to a bank back in Togo. Okay, and he sent $500,000 to there, and he thought that the money on all this document was going to match the $500,000 that was supposedly sitting in that bank account. Supposedly. No, his money was the only real money, and they split $500,000 3 ways. They split $500,000 three ways.
So
I have a question about this, the Shazoo Khan.
Okay.
Right? So the website, what's stopping you from being, so once you put money into that website, you can't take it back out, essentially.
Nope.
It's gone. It's theirs.
Well, here's the thing. It depends on the scammer and what kind of scam they're running.
Okay.
You can take it out. You got to understand, the person who's the programmer who set the website up, they can control whether or not they give you their money back or not. They gonna get it off of there when they shut down shop. They gonna take it off. So you can get, so until you get that number, when you start getting over a certain amount of dollar amount, that's when it becomes an issue. So let's say you put, because his job is now we're working off of greed. Because remember what I said. What did I say? The two things: perception, judgment. What did that girl see? Did she see profit?
Yes.
This is with her eyes. She see she's making money, right? She put it on there. Now, here's where psychology come in at. Why do you think he had her go to crypto.com? Anybody?
It's a trustable website. It's everyone knows crypto.com.
And from a psychological point of view on perception, what does that do?
Which you trustworthy.
It legitimizes the second site. It legitimizes the second site. It legitimizes the second site. Think of it like this. If 4 of us go into a liquor store, 3 of us got IDs, they will assume that all 4 of us are 21.
Yeah.
Most times. Because the 3 front runners legitimize all 4. That's why you go to that site first. You go to that site first. You go to that site first. When you go there first, you ain't thinking about it. Because you thinking, well, if it was a funny site or something was wrong, crypto.com wouldn't communicate with it. Oh, if you got a programmer, yeah, hell it will. This is crypto. All you need is a fucking key. So you take your key, you load up crypto.com, then you transfer it to USDT, Tether coins, and then you take that key and you upload that key to this new website.
Simon says it depends what country. I don't know about that.
No, it don't depend what country. You just showed you a map.
Simon.
Huh?
I don't know about that. No, for what Simon was saying.
That don't depend on what country. It's worked in every country that it's been practiced in. It's never not worked.
Yeah, there's the only country that wouldn't work in our countries where like people aren't allowed to use social media.
Man, this scam's way fucking simpler than this that works in this country.
Yeah.
This definitely will work here. It'll work anywhere in any country.
That they have social media.
Scammable. And you're using cryptocurrency, so you're not gonna get it back, and it's not traceable, and you will never find the person who stole it. Because the person that you're talking to is not who you think he is anyway, or she is. It's not a real person.
They willingly give you the money back first.
What?
And then you no. So you remember that he said, okay, they'll give you you invest your 150, and then they'll invest 500, and then they'll give you back 1,000. Right? Is that giving you back a physical 1,000, or is that showing on your account?
No, you get back a physical 1,000.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. So
you gonna get to touch it. I want you to touch it. I want you to rub and touch it, baby, because it's gonna lock this shit in so hard. I'm finna get your ass. Now, am I taking a risk?
Yes.
So, I'm in a multi-billion-dollar syndicate. Trust me, I'm not worried about it. I will get it back.
I got a question.
Yeah.
Did you find out which countries is where most of the catfishing is coming from?
Catfishing or this
or whatever. That's the topic, right?
Scam.
Catfish.
Oh.
Yeah, this is a scam. This is a huge scam that's been going on. The pig butcher scam.
Yeah, that one.
I mean, it's still catfishing. It's still the same exact thing.
Oh, okay. So
one
which
is
country is the most? Is it Africa? Somebody told me it was either them.
No, it came out of China.
It's
then
China?
It moved over into Singapore. Then it moved over into Singapore, and
Taiwan.
and Taiwan, and now it's branched off to where it's the United States. They attacking the United States, Japan, Australia, and places like that.
I want to shout out True Manga in the house. Thanks for coming. He said there's always ways around that country or region stuff. Unfortunately, black market exists for a reason.
Yeah, I mean, here's the thing. The point, like these are not countries. These are people in these countries that's getting scammed. Like your country does not matter. It don't matter. It's down to you. Only you can save you.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, I don't care what you got. Government officials and FBI agents that can get scammed, and they have training, and they can still get this. This scheme is a mother. It is something serious, and it's not something that's been thrown together. There is a lot of science behind it, a lot of psychological theory. They have a whole team of psychologists that coach them. That's what that woman was saying in the previous video. It's just not some group of people who then got together. No, this is an entire syndicate. Some of these people are kidnapped. Some of these people have been human trafficked just to do this.
Yeah, so they're not even making anything out of it. They're literally
They ain't making nothing out of it.
They're working to live.
They just working to live. That's exactly what they're doing.
What's scary is that these scams get better and better. Seems like every year, and they just keep evolving.
Yeah.
It's really scary.
I feel like it's really ramped up recently. Like, I mean, getting mails, getting text messages, getting emails, like everywhere. It's just ramped up out of nowhere. And freaking China.
I think social media just became so popular. Like the world just became so global, and then pretty much everyone has access to a phone now, which means everyone has access to social media now.
Yeah. I mean, it's also when COVID hit and everyone was just kind of sitting in their houses by themselves, now they're just playing on a lot of people's like loneliness and emotions.
Yeah.
You know? Because most people probably haven't went outside their house, probably not dating, single people, like they're going to be like the biggest targets for any of this stuff. Because now it's finally someone that's paying attention to me, you know, and they're helping me out make money. Like, how amazing is that? Shazupan. Scary stuff, man.
The pig. At this point, scammers will introduce investment platforms to you with the promise of high returns. One emphasis they have is to never hard sell the platforms to victims. One common term that always comes up is the term 铺垫, which is to lay emotional groundwork for the stories that they will share with you after. Mavis shared with us that her scammer would only talk about how he has a side hustle of investing. He wouldn't talk about investing really deeply until a month after conversing.
He will not try to sell me or to get me to join. He will only show me his profits. Only after I approached him seeking his help, he took the opportunity to bring me along.
Another common term that we see in the workbooks is the term senile, which is brainwashing. So over time, scammers will slowly manipulate your thoughts to make you think of investments more favorably. So scammers will engage in casual conversations with you, and if the conversation is going well, they may subtly ask you to invest small amounts into these investment platforms.
He asked me to put money into this platform, but I was very reluctant He just tell me, I'll just deposit this 520 for you. It means my love to you. My profit is actually 100%. He immediately prompt me to withdraw this to my bank account. Definitely, I feel, wow, really has such thing.
And that is what makes a lot of victims feel that the platforms are legitimate. Scammers may even tell you things like, I think it's better to withdraw our money now and not invest more today, to make them seem more knowledgeable about the investment trends and to make you trust that they have your interest at heart. But of course, all these websites are controlled at the back end, all the way from customer service to what you see on the websites. Once they've got you hooked onto the platform, it becomes like a normal investment activity that couples do. He will say things like, since I'm going to invest $10,000, I hope that you will do the same. And when you start to doubt the platform, that's when they will start to gaslight you. They will say things like, are you not trusting the platform because you're not trusting me?
先让客户投资，让他们尝到一点甜头，利用培养感情的方式把他们养得白白胖胖的，之后把他们的钱财榨空的时候，他们幡然醒悟，就断掉所有联系方式，把他们杀掉。
这些受过高深教育啊，或者是专业的女人有什么好骗？怎么可以骗到他们？
就只有通过更加高深莫测的方法去引他们上钩。
高深莫测是什么意思？
一个小组有4个人，如果说有遇到不懂的问题，我们可以相互请教。实在不懂的话，我们就去问小组长，然后再回复客户。
比如说我是目标对象，我不只跟一个人沟通，我同时可能会跟一整组男人在沟通。
啊，对。
Hey, Huntsville. Google Fiber is expanding in your area. We're bringing award-winning gigabit internet.
The scamming industry is rather labor intensive, and that is why a lot of the scammers were in fact trafficked there.
我也是个受害者，之前被绑架，然后一直困在诈骗园区里面，每天就被奴役着做我不想做的事情。
Naturally, there are doubts when I heard his story because it sounded like it came out from a movie scene. But after months of working on this story, I heard countless of victim testimonies from anti-scam organizations, and their stories all correspond with Mr. Lee's. Every other day, these organizations would send me photos or videos of scammers who are tasered or beaten up when they failed to scam or when they tried to escape. These really made me believe that Mr. Lee's story is not unique at all, and there are many more others like him. Actually, when the Talking Point crew was filming in Sihanoukville, Cambodia, we were warned by locals that it's going to be quite dangerous because there were reports of shootings and kidnappings. So when we were there, we tried to film as much as we can from the van, and we also hired a bodyguard as well.
All right. So this is the part that I was talking about, to where it makes it really hard to recognize, because she asked the question for those who couldn't, I know she's speaking in Chinese Mandarin or whatever I think it's Mandarin. And she asked the question, how do you deceive such highly educated people? That's when they use advanced techniques. You have a team, 4 people, that's when they type something, they go and tell you what you should say, what to do, how to get past this. Welcome, Simon. So it's not anything that should be taken lightly. It's a real deal. Like, you just don't get $7.7 billion in a year because you're an idiot or you had some bullshit scam that just tricked a bunch of people. No, this shit is well thought out. I mean, there's a playbook. They got a whole playbook with scripts that are updated as every current events, anything from current events. I don't give a damn if you're a neuroscientist. They will be able to talk to you about neuroscience. If you're a rocket astrophysicist, they will be able to talk to you about that. They will be able to mirror whatever it is you do. Whatever they get you to talk, get you to reveal about you, they will be able to mirror that with a story that has a lot of thought and psychology been put into it to make you feel warm. And then they also gonna be coached on how to doubt. Like if you start writing this, oh well, da 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 da. Oh no, see you starting to lose them. You starting to lose them. We're gonna have to do this to get him back. Be indifferent. If they feel like they got a thing, say, you know what? Just stop talking to me then. I'm sorry I even met you. I can't believe you did. Well, wait. It's not that I don't trust you. That's gaslighting, making you think you damn crazy. And here's the one thing I want you to really think about. There's a age dynamic, 35 and up. One, because of the amount of money you can make. Two, it's because of the people who are single and around for. So imagine you 40 years old and this damn young, attractive man who doesn't care about age is doing all this, saying all this. You want this shit to be true. You want it to be true. Your internal desire is that you want this to be real. So the more he makes you think that the shit is real, the less likely you are to avoid it. And then when you see your money growing and you done been able to get that shit back, oh, at that point, bro, you all in.
So
if that nigga told you to send him 20,000, you'll do it. Say what?
They'll let you make some money.
You did not see the video? Yes, that's how you hook them. That's the whole hook.
No, I mean to the point where you feel like they'll let you make a lot of money. Because if they let you make a lot of money, then
no, they're not gonna let you make a lot of money. But they will make you make. Let me tell you, the average human don't need to make a lot of money for this shit to be believable. If I tell you to give me $100 and I send you 500, saying that this is just my token of my love to you, because I do love you, and I want you to be successful in life and accomplish all your goals, and tell you to put that money in their platform. So what I essentially did, check this out. This was the slick shit. I sent you 500 to give me 600 back because I got control of this platform. You just don't know that. And then I'm going to send you back 1,000. Girl, go spend that shit. Go spend it on whatever you want to. And if he real slick, it might do it around your birthday. Hey, it's your birthday next week. And for your birthday, I got a special treat for you. I'm like, what's that? What you going to do? I know this is I don't really like cliches. And I like to be different. So what I want to do is I want you to take $100. I'm going to send you $500 for your birthday. And I want you to open up an account on crypto.com and follow my instructions. Screenshot, now do this, screenshot, now do this, screenshot, now do that, and put it over here on this. And everything that we make, and I'm going to teach you how to do it, everything we make, I'm going to give it to you. That's your birthday present. And you get back $1,000, all you put in was 100. Man, you hook like a fucking crackhead. It's over. It's a damn wrap. It's a damn wrap. And the next day, in the next week, he gonna show you how much money he making. And you say, well, what could we do if I gave you $2,000? Ding, ding, motherfucking ding. That's what I've been waiting on. The fucking bell just rung. The stock bell just went the fuck off. The market is open, baby. And your ass is ready to be butchered up. You ready, boo. You ready. Well, if you do 2,000, we could probably make 4,000 or 5,000. But what if I put 3,000 with it and made it 5,000, and then we just split it? Okay, I could do 5. Well, I'm gonna do 10 and really make some money because Christmas coming up. Well, if I cash in my 401k, I could do 100, but that's too much. Let's just do 20. Whatever I get off you, I'm gonna show you that money is growing like hell. The market is real good. You sure you don't want to cash your 401k in? Damn, I made that much money. Man, if you would have put 100 in here, you'd be almost to $1 million. I have it in 2 days. I'm finna cash it in now. And your ass is getting fucked up the whole time. You muted, Clement.
Yeah, ready to be butchered. That's what I said.
So the actual butchering occurs is when you get smart. That's when the butchering comes.
Oh, when you realize.
Yep.
When you want now you want your money back.
Now your ass finna get butchered. Oh, you want it? You ready to withdraw it? What is this thing called?
Taxes. And it's gonna be every dime that you actually threw in there. And that's the big middle finger to you.
Yep.
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 Because it's gonna be all your money right there. This is all the money you sent us. That's what you owe in taxes.
And when you say, hey, look, I know you scammed me. I know this is not real. I just want you to consider, and then you get that fatal message on WhatsApp. Have a
User.
Do you think that
or user not found?
It's so intricate. The details and the intricate parts of all these things that you're talking about. Do you think that it's not just that it has to be people of law enforcement or anybody that would be in on it to help them do it for years and years and years? I mean, it has to be other people in on it in order for them to last this long.
Yeah, it is. It's a whole syndicate. Like it's a team of. It's a lot.
I'm talking about like higher ups.
No. She's saying that are there people in power? Are we talking lawyers, doctors, officers that are part of it that are actually?
I mean, it could be, but it's not required. The main people that they got that make this shit work are psychologists. That's the main people. That's who write the scripts. Psychologists. People who are masters of behavior. People who know how humans think.
Because what if one person like doesn't fall for it right away and meets that person and be like, you know what, I'm gonna call the police or I'm gonna call whatever, and then meet with him to try to set him up something, or even just say this is a scam. This person, I think he a scammer. And I'm sure that has happened. So it's like it has to be some type of higher ups in there for them to like just keep doing it for years and years.
Those are the ones who. Okay, so listen. From what I understand, the way the organization is broken down, right? The psychologists are the most important people in the whole thing, next to the programmer. And the programmer really ain't that fucking important because anybody who know how to write code can do that. You just need to fucking know. You just got to be a legit programmer. That's it. But the psychologists, that's who them the motherfuckers who keep it going right there. The one, because if you get suspicious, that's their fault. If they couldn't, that's their fault. Or the person who's doing the initial, the person who was doing I guess the foot soldier, or the person who is making direct contact with the pig is not doing their job right. They're not asking for help when they should, or they went away from their training. Now I tell you what has happened. You ready for this? Motherfucker fell in love with the goddamn pig. For real. I'm serious, and let that bitch off the block. That has happened. I couldn't find the damn video again because I couldn't remember the title for nothing. But it did fall in love, and it has happened because other scams, too many scams pulled up, a bunch of them to where the scammer initially started out, but then they actually fucking fell in love with the pig. That has happened. And let the pig off the hook.
Ask Dr. John?
Well, I asked the questions up front, but I asked you this question because you didn't get the answer.
Okay.
Well, I'll ask you, and I don't know how long you've been watching Simon, so I ask him for Simon and you again.
Okay.
What do you think? What do you think about this? Fact or cap? I'm too smart to be tricked for this shit.
Fact.
Is that a fact or a cap?
Fact.
Tell him, you mean. Tell him.
Simon,
They got
I'm just speaking from person. I'm just speaking. No, I would say the majority is a cap. The majority is a cap. Nobody, you ain't too smart to be tricked. But I tend to hesitate a lot, especially when it comes to money, especially when it comes to people trying to get close to me. I am studying psychology, and I hate that this is the profession that's ripping people off and all that other stuff. That's why we get a bad rep. You know what I'm saying? Like we're not real doctors or whatever. So I would say for me, I really know when people are lying, and a lot of times I just let them lie. You know what I'm saying? The only time I'll try to bust you in a lie is if I really want to prove a point. But a lot of times, I already know when people is lying. The only person that ever got away with stuff for me, and I even felt it. So even when I found out later on of stuff that I didn't even know, those times and dates and whatever was going on, I already knew something. So it's not just like sometimes with me, it's like energy as far as and also me trusting people, and that's just my trauma. So that's why it's hard, you know what I'm saying? Because I could cut people off really quick, off the slightest sentence, and then you wouldn't even think that would be something for me to not speak to you for. So it's hard to get anything out of me. That's all I'm saying. Okay. But majority cap. For me, it's a fact.
All right. What about you, Simon? What you think? You way too smart to be tricked for this. Is that a fact or is it cap?
Me personally, maybe not. General public, citizens, people like that, I would say most likely. I think people are too busy to be thinking these days, especially like, with the work ethic. They might, like if you take phishing, for example, emails, I don't think anyone gets any sort of training around this sort of stuff. I find it hilarious that we have all been susceptible to social media. No one has any training about it. So I think this is where the scammers take advantage because they look at it forensically, like what you say. So when you're talking about sort of like the psychologist sort of perspective, it's like if I walk into Walmart tomorrow, I'm not thinking about when I walk up to the till, what kind of work goes into just understanding how to run that till and, all the instructions that's been given with it. I'm just like, I want to get out of here. And that's with anything. So it's almost like when you zone in on something, they're zoning in on you. They're zoning in on trying to scam you. Mm-hmm. So in the moment, you're not really paying attention. And that's what I think they're sort of betting on. So obviously, and this is where they target certain types of people, vulnerable people that have a certain type of lifestyle, because they know they're just busy, like they're not interested like it. So usually if something's coming on their table, then it is usually something that's worthwhile. So if they got through, if they got through that sort of mess of being able to get through to you and respond, usually the people will think it's legit and respond accordingly. Great subject though.
I love the way you answered that, and I'm even going to use I'm going to use your Walmart analogy to really bring this whole thing home for Yannick too. So what I want you to think about is this, Yannick. Using Simon's analogy about Walmart. If I'm the psychologist that's telling Simon you can steal this out of Walmart at 3:00 in the evening, and all you need to do is distract the person that's at the self-checkout. Pay for this one, but put this one in the bag. And don't put none and say, go ahead and skip bagging. and walk out the store with your receipt in your hand. I'm gonna send 2 people in there. The reason we're gonna do it at 3 o'clock is because the one that's around the register, she gets off in about 35 minutes and she don't give 2 fucks about what's going on at that register. See, if we do it way earlier than that, she's too alert. She ain't got nothing to do but watch that damn register, so the time goes by faster. And this is just human behavior. Because human behavior is a fact. The closer it is time for you to get off, the less likely you are focused on your job. I don't care who you are. That includes the girl who's been standing on her damn feet for 8 hours. For 7 hours and 30 minutes to be exact. Minus the 30 minutes she took for lunch. Okay? So that's what we're going to do. That's how these fuckers think. That's how they think. That's who they got coaching them. That's who they following. You feel me? Remember, perception is reality. While I sent dude over there to ask her what was on aisle 9, she slightly glanced and saw me pay for something. So she gonna assume perception, which also influences judgment, that we paid for everything. That's why when they first came out with self-checkouts, they had to go to a fucking weighted scale. Because people were stealing left and fucking right at the self-checkout. Now, because of the example I just gave you, because you can skip bagging and get past the scale, they got cameras in the bottom and over the top and on the sides.
Yes,
and the cameras got AI built in there. Not saying that shit was not in there, huh?
Don't they look at your receipt before you leave now?
No, they supposed to. They supposed to. But guess what? How many times you got stopped by the damn dude on the store going out of Walmart? Did you just walk right out of Walmart?
I get stopped.
I never get stopped. I get stopped.
I get stopped. They
Only time I get stopped if it's electronics. If it's electronics, you're gonna get stopped. We would do something different to get the electronics. We get the electronics, we'll take a big wheel out, pay for the big wheel, put the electronics inside the big wheel. That's how crackheads do it. We'll swap boxes. So we'll pay $29.95 and have $500 worth of shit in that big wheel box.
Okay.
And we're gonna go out through home and garden because there is no self-checkout. We're gonna check out with a person. And even though this big wheel weighs 12 pounds, this PlayStation weighs about 5 point some pounds, but we're gonna stuff it back in there so it's all not rattling around and moving. But the little girl at the checkout, she ain't fucking paying no attention, none of that. She just see the damn big wheel box. And I'm gonna hold it up myself and give it to her, let her scan it and put it in my bucket. Perception.
Did you have a question for me?
Yeah, I do.
Oh, okay.
Here's the
I
next
thought
one.
I missed it.
No. This is you and that. Here's the next one. This is a good one. This is a good one.
Oh, I thought you specifically said how you had a question about whatever scenario.
No. To bring it full circle. So men are so stupid that Shazupan or the pig butcher scam that we talking about will only work on them. Is that a fact or a cap?
It's a cap.
Who do you think it'll work on most though? Men or women or about the same?
On women.
Why?
Because women, okay, how can I say? Because we were raised on Disney. What I talk about all the time, we were raised on the fantasy of somebody sweeping you off your feet, having that romance, and being all you want. So women are way more susceptible than men.
Right. 75% women, 25% men.
Because women are kind of dumb, you know?
I knew you were going to say something crazy. I saw you for a while. I was like, what is he thinking about saying?
And I mean, not to mention, men are transactional. So, like, if I give you some money, I want a return.
Mm-hmm.
You understand? You know, so, little 23-year-old girl go to Big Daddy house talking about she can't pay this and she can't pay that.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I got it. But what's in it for me? That's what Big Daddy want to know. He trying to leave some DNA. He trying to get you to leave some DNA over there with him. You ain't finna just roll up and then get that Social Security check from Big Daddy and just got down like it's okay. You finna have to work with it.
Gotta use that analogy.
You've been having to work a little bit.
Disgusting one.
But sugar daddies, you have to act. I thought sugar daddies just paid for you. You ain't had to.
What you think the sugar and sugar daddy mean?
I thought you ain't. That's what I mean.
Nah,
I've
boo-boo.
seen some
You gotta
movies
come
or
get
whatever
sugar.
stuff, and they talking about they ain't really got to do that much or whatever.
Yeah, that's that new shit, bro. You know how sugar daddies work.
That's back in the days.
Nigga, it ain't changed.
Or you know what? You know what? That's probably part of the scam. That's what they say. Like, oh, you don't have to do anything. Just send me a couple of pictures. That's all I want.
No.
Two, 3 pictures. $2,000. That's it.
Like, bitch, you asking for $1,800 for your rent, and you think sending me some pictures of your rent? Boy, you better bring your ass over and take a shower.
Listen, again, just like the Shah Zupan, it starts out small.
$100,
right?
$20,
$100.
Yep.
Oh, send me a couple of pictures. Okay, here's $500. You know.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I forgot somebody. I know somebody else came up here. I know. So shout out to I Am the Only Ruck. Thanks for joining us tonight.
All right,
Only
last question. The tactics that we've been talking about that's used by the scammers can only be recognized by trained psychologists. Is that a fact or a cap? That's a tough one, ain't
it? Yeah.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say that. I would say cap still, even though psychologists are supposed to be trained to figure out stuff like that. Not everybody who becomes a psychologist is becoming one to really study that type of perception. Like some of them are there, how we were, in some classes they'll tell you a lot of psychologists are there to probably figure out themselves more than anybody else sometimes when they first start, right? So some psychologists are not going to be sitting here. Sometimes they not just going to be looking out for somebody else's lies. They really trying to help somebody. So they not, they might be susceptible to, because they human, just like everybody else, So I think that's a cap. Simon, you still there?
I think Simon's. Oh, he said he's back now.
Yeah, I'm here. Sorry, I had to dip out for a sec. So, what's the question?
It's at the bottom.
Tactics that the scammers are using can only be recognized by trained psychologists. Fact or cap?
Ah, boy. I guess only a psychologist can pose this question. Like they say, a psychologist needs a psychologist.
Two psychologists walk into a bar. Is that what you're trying to say?
Right. It's a difficult one because it just depends on I don't know, what comes to my head is it depends on what you're feeling like, because you could be feeling one sort of type of way at 9 a.m. and feeling another type of way at 12 a.m. and feeling another type of way at 4 a.m. Depending on what you're going through, you could be going through, you could have a loss, you could have had a gain, you could have, won the lottery. I mean, imagine you're in that sort of euphoria, and then like you get an email, and it's a scammer, and you've won the lottery, and like you're like, okay, look, I'm living lavish right now. I'm gonna hand over, maybe 1,000 when I've won 10 million. So it really depends. Like, it's a very interesting question. Fact or cap? I don't know, man. I gotta go in the middle, man. I'm not really a gambling man.
It's a 50-50. It's a 50-50.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. But
Right.
it's a good one.
All right, so as for me, I never did answer it. if you remember, I didn't answer the first time.
No.
I'm gonna tell you right here, for the tactics that's being used, you got to be a psychologist to recognize them, like to just be able to point them out and say, well, this is that, this is this, this is that, this is that, right? And I'm gonna share my own personal, okay? And I hope you can see it, but it's because it's on my phone. There's no way to get it to up here on the platform. All right, so this was a scammer who tried to get me. I don't know.
Could you send a picture on WhatsApp? If you could send it to me on WhatsApp, I might be able to mirror it on here.
All right, hold on. Screenshot.
I just feel like, yeah, psychologists are trained to see these things, but I think
when you're in love,
daily life. But when you in your daily life and you're single and you're 45,
yep,
and you meet a young man that's saying all these things. Yes, your first instinct might try to be like, maybe just like in Fall from Grace, like why you want me? Like what I'm saying, I'm old. Right? There's plenty of young women out here. And then all they got to do is just say something sweet like he did, or say something convincing, and it'll take over that heart emotion if it's some women's psychology.
Because their whole thing ain't about your emotions. Their whole thing.
I thought they were wooing you for your money. They go into a whole relationship sometimes with you just to take your money.
I had someone. And this has actually happened on my live stream, and I had to call them out. But I actually had someone, do that to me as well. I mean, and it continues. It's not a new thing. This has been going on since, try to sort of woo you online.
Oh, okay. Mm-hmm.
I had someone put up with an avatar on my IG. And I had to drop my whole IG page and reconfigure it, because it was just like the way they were busting it was like, oh, they were coming at me with some sort of interest.
Mm-hmm.
And then I was like, look, and this is the first thing I do. Like, I'm like, get on the phone, because it's like IG's easy, right? If you want to speak to someone, you could just speak to someone. We don't even have to pay international call fees or any of that anymore. So I was like, look, just call me. And I called her, and she had an avatar. And when I called her, her avatar was not her avatar. Mm-hmm. And she sat there with a man. And I was like, look, yeah, I appreciate this, but who's he? And she was like, that's my husband. I was like, oh, shit. So I was like, okay. And I was like, so what? Why are you calling me then? Your husband sat, and the husband was literally sat there, and he was like buying into it as well. And I was like, where are you from? And they were like, oh, we're from Bangladesh. And I'm like, okay. So why are you calling me then? Why are you on my page? Like, oh, we want to sell you digital marketing. And I'm like, okay. Do you get what I mean? It went on a bit after that, and I'm not going to go too much into it. But that's just a basic premise. It's like there are couples married out there scamming. It's not just like, I mean, I think the concept and the idea that can come into your head sometimes is that there's either one person working for somebody else, or there's like a syndicate, or there's a group. Nah, some of these people, I mean, us in the Western civilization, I appreciate you, Clement, for allowing me to talk. But us in the sort of like Western civilization do not necessarily sometimes appreciate what's going on in those countries. Like, we have toilets in our houses. They do not. In 2023, they are having meager situations. Like, if you ever go to Thailand, India, Pakistan, any one of those sort of EMEA countries that I sort of pointed out, you would find that your holiday, if you wanted it to be a holiday, it may not be a holiday unless you're going to the commercial sort of areas. And it's the same in the Caribbean. This is still going on. It's just we're so comfortable, we're blasé. So when these people come at us, we're blindsided. It's almost like, oh yeah, I got this, I got that, and it's like they're living some sort of meager situation, and it's not their fault, but you know, your dollar is sort of like everything to them, everything. So that's why they do these things.
For some reason, sorry to cut you off, Simon. For some reason,
no worry.
I'm on my laptop and I'm not really used to using it, so I can't really screen share off my laptop. Simon, you said you would be able to do it? How would you be able to do it? Actually, you don't. Be able
to do what, sir?
Sorry, no. I see you sent your number there, but for some reason.
Oh, that's the WhatsApp thing. No, because you're saying the WhatsApp, so I'll just put.
I'm sorry, John. I don't think I could do that. I don't know why.
That's the +44 thing. It's a. I'm just going to say the international code of my number.
Picture?
Say that again.
We won't let you upload a picture.
No. StreamYard isn't allowing me to share it, but I don't usually use StreamYard on my laptop, so I didn't actually.
Yeah, it does that to me as well.
Yeah, I'm not used to it just yet, but I'll figure it out for next show.
What's up, Carl?
Carl's here?
What's up? Happy New Year's, everyone.
Melvin.
I think I can do it.
Yeah? You can screen share from WhatsApp? There we go.
Yeah.
Well, Simon.
I mean, this is like something that I'm kind of like, I was shocked. I was so shocked.
But you the best salesman in the world. How you getting scammed?
Nah, it wouldn't work.
Oh, I'm getting ready to say.
Nah, you're gonna have to get up first thing in the morning. You're gonna have to. I mean, you're gonna have to
get up before the break of morning.
Yeah, but what I want to show you is the context, like how I want to show the audience that's out there, like this shit is real, like it does happen a lot more often. And I said, I'm just gonna roll with it and see. Like I had no interest for real in this person by the way they was talking, but I wanted to see just how far they thought they could get.
Yeah.
And I think it's this one. Yeah, can you see that?
Yeah, could you zoom in to it? Click it.
Yeah.
There we go.
All right. So right here is where she was talking about. Let me go and give you the context. So over here, right here, you see how she says. So now, mind you, we've been communicating for a little bit. What are your plans for the kids to do this weekend? I'm like, hang out with me. Do you see how I answer very short? That's for me not to reveal and let her know what's next to say. You understand what I'm saying? So she says, sound nice. Wish you have fun in your weekend. I said, yeah, you too. She said, yeah, I do. Wishing a good morning, blessed with happiness, right? I said, same to you. And then she shows me this. Remember how I told you they will show you this right here? This is the profits that she said she made today, right? Okay. No, she didn't. You need to know how to read this because that's not what that means. That means she put something in there. That's not her damn profit. That's a deposit, first of all. And then secondly, so then I couldn't help it. I went on over here and I said, wow, that platform you're using. She said, yeah, I'm investing in short-term trading now. The cycle only takes 30 seconds. So she's talking about a specific type of option that you can do with cryptocurrencies, right? to get 40% profit. If you invest $1,000, then you get $400 because of 40% profit in 30 seconds.
Can you do me a favor? Can you do me a favor?
Yeah.
So for anyone that's going to get caught in this, can you explain how to tell the difference between if it's actually gains versus if that was just a deposit?
Yeah, sure. I have to go back to the other one.
Yeah.
All right.
Sorry, I stopped your flow.
No, you
but I
good.
feel like it was important, you know?
All right. So this is what, if you're saying, this is what she's saying, that she had an executed price of $20,267, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it was a quantity. It was a quantity of 9,000 USDT, and the direction was set short. Right.
Okay.
All right. So one, typically, what does the color red mean?
You lost.
Right. But she put, this is a plus $3,600 expiry settlement completed. That lets me know that she did, what she did was she put USDT into BTC.
That's Bitcoin?
BTC is Bitcoin. USDT is not Bitcoin. You have to put $3,600 to transfer it, turn it into Bitcoin. And it's not going to be a whole Bitcoin. Let's just get that straight. You understand?
Ain't one Bitcoin like 40
like $17,000. So that right there is not a whole Bitcoin. This is just how much she completed. That's what she showed me. You understand? So like this don't work.
So she was essentially, did she say that
was profits to show me? So she tried to trick me by showing me that.
Ah, interesting. Okay.
She didn't have no real profits to show me, and because the profits page don't look like that. That's not what the profit page look like. The profit page is at the bottom left, and it's a dollar. It's a dollar amount all by itself, and it's not a plus number. It's just a number.
Is this like day trading? Is she was trying to actually get into?
No, it's not day trading. It's binary options. It's a little bit complicated.
Oh, okay.
So I got fed up with her, and I was like, "Look, I'm a psychologist and an expert in human behavior. So tell your supervisor to hire me. We'll get better results." I started laughing. I started laughing at her.
What was that voice message?
Get up.
You ain't gonna be able to hear that. This is the best. And I laughed at her, and then she sent me that mad ass emoji back. Right?
And she
got completely pissed. Well, because I was telling her, I said, and I didn't screenshot that one. I'll just tell you what I said.
Oh, okay.
I told her, you didn't butcher the pig. You didn't fatten the pig long enough. I'm like, I'm not going for this. Like, come on, man. This is not anything. No. No, you tried to do this way too fast, and it does not. This, for me, with the way that she has, this person right here, she was not a part like of anything big. She was trying to do this on her own because I'm not even the right target. The only thing that makes me the right target is the amount of money that I had, the money flow in my age. That makes me the right target. But the fact that I told you early on in our conversation that one, I trade professionally, you should have left me alone.
Hell yeah.
Because if you personally weren't a professional trader, there's a lot of things I'm gonna catch you in. Something as simple as that is not, and I repeat, that is not it don't look like that. It does not look like, when you make profit and it shows a plus $3,600, it'll give you a percent. It has percentages over there, year to date, all that shit. Your month to date, all that shit. It's a big, long ass thing, like all that. So you can see how your shit's performing. It don't look like that. But when you make a deposit, it looks just like that. And I don't care what platform you go on. If you go on the platform I like, that's what it looks like. And the only thing she showed me was this. And whatever last transaction she did do under Bitcoin, she lost. Because it would be short green. But hers was short red. She lost.
Yeah.
So she didn't really know what she was doing. But I thought about it and I was like, you know what? This is it's a really good example of exactly what I'm talking about, letting you know that this shit is real. Now I want you to ask me, where did this person come from?
Where did this person come from, John?
It's probably like
Instagram.
IG.
What a dating site?
Instagram.
Hey, Instagram is essentially the #1 dating site in the world right now.
Instagram
site.
These people are on Instagram, they're on TikTok, they're on Facebook, they're on Tantan, they're on they're on People Meet, they're on Match.com, they're on Hilly, they're on a lot of the dating apps. Tantan is eat up with them. I mean, Tantan is a waste. Don't even download it.
What's Tantan? What's that?
Tantan is a dating app for if you just want to find Asians.
Okay.
Primarily Asians on that app, and I'm telling you that your ass, they are ready to butcher your ass up. You hear me? I'm talking about the professional ones over there.
I don't do dating apps.
So
yeah, thank you.
You know, I know
you right about Instagram, John, because when I don't know what it is with my page. It just started like every day. I started getting a follow at least every day, and then next thing you know, I get people in my inbox saying hello, but they always from somewhere else. Like, hello, beautiful. How was your day today? Hello.
Don't you think they're bots though? I mean, like,
hello. They be like, well, where you at? Where you live at? Where are you from? I'm not telling you that shit. I'm over east. That's what I say.
Like,
that's on Instagram. They be doing that shit.
Yeah, they do it.
there's a level of sophistication to this. I mean, so you know, if you know anything about tech, you know, I could just set something up where I could just target a number of people.
Yeah.
And just do a quick C++ program bot and just allow it to just do its own thing and check its responses after. I don't even have to be in the present.
Nope.
It sort of comes back to what I was saying, is that I think people, you know, genuine people that are out there working, hard working, you know, it's vulnerable sometimes in a certain demographic, will be susceptible to this sort of stuff. But it's a misdemeanor. You know, I mean, I think it's just we're not trained. We're not, you know, there's no schooling around it. Our young people are in schools, and you know, like we used to get sex education. I think maybe they need to start putting in education around internet etiquette.
That's a very good point. That's a very good point. And since we at the 2-hour mark, I'm gonna leave y'all with how to protect yourself against this. Okay. So one. I don't give a damn what you show me, what you do to me. If I can't touch you, taste you, feel you, smell you, I ain't got shit to do with no money you got going on. That's your thing. I ain't fucking with nobody on no financial anything that I can't reach out and choke their ass up. Not happening. I don't give a damn what you say, what you do, what you showed me. I don't care if you're driving a Lamborghini and it's
going on one.
That's your Lamborghini. So proud for you. I don't have to have one, but I'm gonna need to touch you. You need to ask yourself certain questions. If you are 47 years old, right? 47, 48, and you got this drop dead hunk of a man, and I'm using a man as an example, because using a man as the scammer as an example, because regardless of what anybody thinks, men are highly visual, and they do not, I say again, they're not attracted to you. They lying. And that's just being on. This man built nice, plenty of money, you overweight, you older, you are not attractive to him. that's the first thing that used to come in your mind and needs to stay there. And it needs to stay there. So and you just wait. If they start mentioning, well, I have a hobby. Oh yeah, what is that? I trade. That's it. Block them, take them off, get away from them. And I won't tell you again. There's no other. That is the first few steps to that damn scam. The minute they mention they have a hobby called trading, or they mention anything to you about Bitcoin, or they mention anything to you about crypto trading, go away.
So anything about money. Anything about money.
Anything about money. You don't know gift cards. Don't. If anybody asks you for a gift card, no. And it's men and women, no.
What about the Cash App scam? That I get that.
That's just basic math. Like that don't even make fucking sense. Like
I get that.
There's no way you gonna give me 1,000. I'm gonna give you 1,000. You give me 10. That's stupid.
You see this one right here,
Forex. That's another one. Forex.
The only reason why I paid for that is because my husband actually was interested in something. I didn't do any research on it, but he said he did, and he was actually interested in something. So that's why I said, you know what? Get it.
Well, Forex itself is not a scam. That's a real trading tool.
Forex is a trading.
It's not a scam, but they don't really teach you nothing for a long time. They just make money off you for a little bit before.
Well, that's like going into the stock market. It's like going to the stock market. Yeah.
All you do is watch. My husband did it. I'm trying to tell you, I was in it. He would wake up 2 a.m. just to watch somebody else trade. He would wake up at whatever time when they said go to watch this person trade, and then they don't really teach you nothing. They're just doing it.
Yeah, but that's how
they
you
just
learn.
doing it, and they're not teaching you at the same time. They said you'll just do that, just do that, just do that, just listen and do that instead of having the reason why I'm doing it. So that means I always have to follow you and do this and do that instead of you explaining what's going on. So it's not a complete. Maybe people are making money, but it's
they're making money, thousands and thousands of dollars on Forex. Forex is just very let me tell you something. Forex is fucking. You can lose your ass within seconds. And I ain't talking about I'm talking about literal seconds within seconds, because those damn pips that you looking for, that shit changed up and down. I'm talking about fast, bro. Like 1 minute you good to pound against the dollar, and then you done lost down $1,000. I'm talking about just like that, because the pound, something happened, the pound flipped, and you had it set up backwards where you should have had it where the dollar was losing versus the pound, and you didn't. So like Forex is not, but if anybody started mentioning Forex, Bitcoin, any kind of crypto, stay away from it.
Wait, real quick, because I remember Unique was saying about how ain't nobody can get her, but now here she is.
It wasn't me. It wasn't me. I didn't look into it.
When two people are in a relationship, two become one. When two become one, okay, so one person got tricked.
No,
that's all I'm saying.
I'm my one. I'm myself. I'm me.
There's no I in team, and y'all two are a team. That team got tricked.
We come together to do stuff, but no, I'm not one. I am my one. He is his one.
So there was a unit that got tricked.
It wasn't a unit. I didn't look into it. I'm busy. He finally was interested in something.
Wait, but you were still like involved in it, weren't you?
No,
you paid involved in it.
But you paid for it though, didn't you?
Only because this is my husband, and he was actually interested in something.
Hard to hear you.
Y'all making me yell, making my stomach hurt.
Yeah. Oh, y'all nigga, you look. You know what? You look just like Brookie then. Yeah, y'all making my stomach hurt and my fever, and I feel like a wet rag doll.
I'm serious. But the 4X is not a scam though. You do make money.
No, it's not. It's a real.
You met with the people. Like he actually met them in person, sat down, had lunch, all that stuff. So it's not a scam. It's just that they don't really teach you much.
Yeah.
Me is in team though. He said ME is in team.
So, and the last thing, well, not the last thing, but another tip to give you is this: when you first meet somebody, whatever questions they ask you, you ask those questions right back. You skip a question. So like if I ask you, where do you work or what do you do for a living, and you say what they gonna ask you, what do you do for a living? Then I'm not gonna answer that. I'm gonna ask them another question. So the question that they thought they was fixing to ask me, I'm probably fixing to ask them. Are you married? So while they still waiting on that response, I'm gonna give them another question. And that's my only.
Is that with everybody?
I'm on your shit. Say what, Simon?
Is that with everybody? I mean,
if you're on those dating apps and you try and like some people really.
No, this ain't my conversation. Sorry.
Yeah. Like if you like meet somebody and the traditional way, that's probably the best way. Just to be honest with you, that's like the best way, because I mean, sure, there's things that you don't know about them or whatnot, but nigga, I have learned some shit about this online, bro. It's one thing to not know something about this motherfucker, but this big over here could literally be a whole damn, not even the sex that you think he is.
If you're talking, if you're talking from a psychological point of view, I think people have forgotten that.
Yeah, for real. Like people, you know, Simon, I'm picking up what you're putting down. I'm serious. So many, bro. Do you know people think what the fuck they see online is real? Like that's the truth. That's the undeniable damn truth. Is this? And Google ain't but 50. I'm gonna say this on this show live. Hey y'all, Google ain't but 52% accurate. I said it. Google is only 52% accurate. So you go to Google and some shit if you want to. You had better know how to do research, because the first answer that pop up is not necessarily right.
You know why that makes me laugh? Because the first day I took my child to school, I trusted in Google, and I got lost.
But I'm trying to fucking tell you.
You know, it's actually I was at the bar recently with my buddy, and there was a waitress, and we got into the COVID vaccine talk. I asked her, "Oh, you know what's your thoughts on the vaccine?" She was like, "Oh, you know, I got them. I got the shot. I'm triple 18,000 time boosted. All those blah blah blah." And she said, "Yeah, the next thing that I'm really looking to get the shot for is the monkeypox, but it's very hard to get that." I'm like, "What? Like, what do you mean? Like, why are you trying to get it?" She's like, "Oh, but have you seen all those videos out there?" I'm like, "Yeah, but they could be fake." "Oh, but why would they fake anything like that?" I'm like, do you believe the government? No. Do you believe everything on the internet? No. Do you believe everything on social media? No. So why would you just start injecting things because you saw a video? "Oh, but there's too many people dying." "Oh, so you know people that are dying." "No, I don't know people, but there's a lot of videos." And the crazy thing, I mean, she was like 26, I think. But that's the younger generation's mind. It's anything on social media goes, and that's the information. It's on TikTok, so it has to be real.
Exactly. That is, and Simon, he was making that point, and I'm gonna point some out from an old school perspective. While I got y'all good folks in front of me, your eyes is the easiest fucking thing to be tricked on your whole fucking body. Your eyes. 3-card Monty is my hands are quicker than your fucking eyes, always. Because it works off of perception, which affects your judgment. It works off of perception, which affects your judgment. You perceive that the card was on the right, but I palmed that motherfucker and it ain't up on the damn one of them bitches. So when you point, you lose. If you'd have pointed to the right, you'd have lost. And if you'd have pointed to the middle, you was lost. Lost. So you can't believe eyewitness testimony, the worst fucking testimony of anybody. Worst testimony of anybody is never accurate.
Yeah.
They did a study at Duke University where a fucking crime was committed in front of 12, only fucking 12 people. Very specific. You know how many of them got the color right?
0.
Just 3.
Yeah.
You know how many got what happened right? None. But when they told it with passion, and that motherfucker just knew he had it right, wrong. Was absolutely wrong. And you know what the most killing part was? Nobody got the right motherfucking person who did it.
But to be fair, I mean,
I have a question. Chris, did you have a question? Did you have a question, Chris?
I had 6.
Yo, doctor. I mean, like, in terms of like people catching people, I mean, come on. I mean, we're just you know, the whole that's a whole franchise in itself, right? I mean, it's like what you're talking about with this pig butcher scam. And what I was trying to just say like earlier about like the demographics is, you know, the culture is different. So I don't know. I mean, can you sort of elaborate a bit more about how you made the connection between the Asian culture and the Western culture in regards to your subject? Because
yeah,
you know, if you want to speak to an Asian woman tomorrow, she's going to tell you a completely different story to an African American woman, or even an English woman in terms of her experience. So that's where I was sort of drawing towards these scams and how people can draw people in. Because obviously, if you're if you have a different type of status in terms of your restrictions that you're living by governmentally, then it poses a completely different scenario.
Oh, okay, I got you because you joined us late. So
Yeah,
you didn't get to see that part of the video. So that's why I responded where it didn't matter about the culture. As if you're the scammer, right? If you're the scammer, and let's say it's me, you, and our syndicate, we doing a scam, and you're the front runner, right? You're the scammer, right? Your job on day one is to only do fact finding. That's it. That's it. And I'm gonna give you the questions on how you need to phrase them. That's it. They normal questions. What's your name? Do you have children? Are you married? Do you commute to work? How far is your commute to work? I might even say, I drive 5 miles. Because if you got a car, I want to prompt you. So by me saying I drive, that's another way to prompt you so I know if you got a car. So that's the only thing you're trying to do. And then, you know, I really would like to see you. There's so many scammers on this site. That shit is to lower your fucking defenses, right? Yeah. That's it. That's it. That's
I appreciate what you're saying, but that's not really what I was getting.
No, you ain't let me finish. That's it. So when they get that transcript, the team is gonna look at it. They're gonna know where you from. They're gonna figure out where you from because they got it. She asked you where you was from, and they're gonna go and do a complete breakdown of what the fuck she needs to talk to you about. So you're gonna go back in there and you're gonna talk to whoever our victim is exactly based on what the team done told you. If she German, if whatever she is, you're gonna fit into that because we're gonna give you the tools to fit into that. See, you didn't see that part of it when that lady was explaining all this.
No, I watched it. I did. I watched it. But what it is that this is like nothing short of basic sales tactics. I mean, like if you're gonna sell a Hoover to someone, and you know, like if we go back to like the 1950s or the 1960s, this is what you know, this was like a commonplace practice for people with jobs to sell stuff, like when washing machines came out, like when all these, you know, all these basic things that we now sort of take for advantage that are in our households came out, right? So all they're doing really is applying that. It's I don't know if that's
they're applying some of that, but see, it's a difference when you apply some of that but then you apply other shit, and then your target that you're applying it to fits into a social demographic, emotional demographic that is just prime for these things. Which
have you ever done sales?
Hell yeah, I'm a top salesman. What?
Right. So you should know that historically, in the modern day and age, any sales tactic is based on the premise of historic sales tactics, right? So I don't think these scammers are intelligent at all. In fact, when I come across any of this sort of BS in my emails or junk or these phishing cats that want to come around town, I'm like, I'll blast them off straight off, because it's like, realistically, I think we should be intelligent enough in this day and age, given all the information we have, to actually understand that a scammer may come at us and to be able to identify them. And that's why I thought is a really brilliant subject. But at the same time, I think it's very different for those that may be in different countries that have restrictions, because
they got restrictions, but they can't speak to other people or something.
Yeah, for real.
Oh, it's different if you can't talk to other people. Like, it's not.
You been to China? Like, goddamn.
Yeah, this is where the damn thing is from, China.
This is the birthplace of this.
It's the birthplace of this scam. This scam came from China.
Yeah,
exactly.
This is where it came from.
Right. So if it came
people in China, they started out scamming a good amount of the people in China. Then eventually, too many people in China caught on, and now they moved out to their next place of target.
Yep.
Yeah. So, but they have restricted in a completely different way that westernized, people, civilization, as we know it as today, are like we have information. Certain Chinese people can't go into certain type of places and just get that information. They're really locked into a certain type of law.
But the government. This shit just happened like in 2021 and 2022. Like we ain't talking about back in the day. We talking about right now.
I'm talking about right now. I could call up someone in China tomorrow, and they the government actually restricts certain things. So like, and even myself, like, let's say I pull up something on my videos or my live, I'll get struck, based on, what kind of content that is, what kind of language I'm speaking, in certain types of demographics. Mark Zuckerberg has had real issues with the Chinese government in terms of like pulling up Facebook and what it represents.
Oh, okay. Because I see what you're saying. Because if they look for keywords, if you say anything about the government, anything about communists is bad, they don't let you talk about none of that stuff. I get that.
Right. That's why TikTok has been a big deal, because they got control of that, versus Facebook, for example. So you got to see what information is actually being put out there and what's being said there. So what I'm saying is, on a baseline ground foot level, the people don't know what you're talking about. If we pulled up this broadcast in China, they will have a problem, because of it, just based on like the level of sophistication in terms of what's being spoken of. I know people and journalists has gone over there, and as soon as they land on a plane and get on the ground, they've got a representative that's like trying to sort of like control their whole sort of format. So what I'm saying is, in terms of scammers and how they think, there's different types of levels of scammers, and some are, like everything, there's tiers, right? So you have the individuals, which may be the person in the house that might be struggling and think, oh, there's this whole Western world out here, and I'm kind of restricted, but I can reach out to them in some sort of shape or form now because we've got social media. Then you got like these people who try to actually form businesses around it.
And they have.
Yeah, they do. Yeah, it's terrible, and that's why I was saying like the sweatshop
Yeah.
situation.
So like
Like
this
that.
is not that. Like this is completely separate from the low. This is like the highest level of scam that I've ever heard of, other than, you know, some really big individual person who's a super hacker and can get into just about anything. But
What would be your idea of the highest level of scam? Because
this syndicate that I'm talking about is the highest, like very high. I don't know what the highest level would be, but this shit here, because everything you just said, they would have a script for that. I don't give a damn if you had to talk in the Russian. If you was on a Russian dating site, they would have your ass speaking Russian, and you would be following all the rules that they would know exactly what to say. They have.
Did you just say Russian dating site?
Huh?
Did you just say Russian dating site?
Yeah, this is an example. If you was on a Russian dating site, if you was in Russia, wherever you trying to pull the scam off at, they're going to abide within that area. It's you have scripts for that area. Period. For the United States, you got scripts. For China, you got scripts. For wherever they attacking, they've got scripts, and them scripts, they gonna stay within the law, because they don't want nobody to mess up their money. But that human behavior, that's what they working off of. They working off of loneliness and greed and hope. Those are the three things they're working off of. They need you to be greedy and driven for some money. They need you to have hope, and they need you to be lonely.
Okay, so I mean, I'm just saying, just so people know, like, just take into account, like, it's not that sophisticated. Like, these people who do things like this are kind of like, you know, they're downtrodden people. Like, they don't really have a real idea of how to make real money. I mean, because otherwise, why would you be doing that sort of stuff?
They lazy.
Right. So that's exactly what I'm saying.
But that don't mean that, you know, I don't believe their characters well, but these, I can't agree with you and say they're not sophisticated. This is fucking sophisticated.
This elaborate.
So what you're saying is you could be sophisticated and lazy.
Yeah, you can.
Yeah. There's some of the
most smart people are lazy.
Yeah.
People with the higher your IQ is, the lazier you are.
Have you ever heard like always give the hardest job to the laziest person because they'll find the easiest way to do it.
Exactly.
To get it done.
That's why people invent things, because they're fucking lazy. That's why they invented a remote, because he didn't want to get up.
That's how they trick you. They're tricking you. They're tricking you because what happens is I'll say that I would say that to my employee, okay? Because I want my employee to be my employee for the rest of their life. I would not tell my employee to work as hard as I would work, because at the end of the day,
they're not.
I don't want them to replace me.
Well, they're not going to work as hard as you because the payout and the reward is not as great as yours.
Correct.
Thank you. So the trick with
work harder than the person who owns the business is nobody.
Right.
And if you find somebody to work harder than you and you call yourself, you need to either make that bitch a partner or give him that damn business with some and redo the structure and go home and let him.
We can relate this to relationships as well, I guess.
Yeah, you can. Absolutely, you can. Absolutely, you can relate that to relationships. Because you got some people that work harder in a marriage than others. The other one just kind of show up. And then they get tired. The one who's doing all the work get tired and say, you know what? I can do this shit by myself.
Are you going to have seasons, though?
Huh?
I missed. Are you going to have seasons where... Yeah, I missed.
You should have said that.
Some...
We didn't know you missed.
No, I knew he missed. I heard that bitch when it hit the floor.
No shame. I'm a boxer.
I heard it when it hit the floor and spun around like this. That damn bottle hit the floor and turned around just like this.
Hit the floor, circled around a couple times, made a bunch of useless noise.
That's when I knew he missed it.
Yeah,
but that's a perfect example. You see, like just a little thing like that. It's like you know how we learned how gravity exists. I don't want to, drop an apple, right? See what happens. So it's like, and that's what most people do. It's just, most people are just not that sophisticated to understand certain things in terms of, especially when people are coming at them and they know how to gravitate towards their insecurities.
So the greatest thing about this whole entire thing is it being a syndicate. I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, John. But they've essentially broke this thing up into a couple of different parts. We have the people that are going to just get the main information.
Yeah.
They started out. It's not one person that knows the entire plan. It's kind of like an assembly line. Okay, you're a
team of people in that room, bro. And then you got groups who they job. You got floor managers. You got advanced. You got psychologists. You got floor managers. You got motherfuckers ready to. You got even language specialists that speak that language that they speak fluently, versus you trying to because the translator only goes so far, and you can say some shit and it just have a whole different meaning. And I'm learning Chinese, and I've learned that. All the pronouns is just one damn word. Ta. That's everything. That's it. That you can pronounce one thing different and it means something totally else. Totally different.
See, lots of the imagination.
They've got a team of people that can cover everything. That's why I said it's so elaborate, because you got your bases covered. And that's pretty damn, and you're malleable. You can fit any environment. That's crazy.
Scary.
If a dude is literally a fucking rocket scientist, you will be able to mirror him. That is completely crazy.
Yeah.
It was one other one. I wish I could find it. If I could find that, if I screenshot and saved it, that when I told him I traded professionally what I did, I talked too much. This before I was even aware of this. But then the next day, you know how she mirrored me? She was talking about technical analysis. She was talking about short positions. And in my mind, she was like, okay. I was like, okay. So she knows something. But then I started getting deep in on her. And she had to break contact. But she revealed her hand just a little bit too much. She did not do everything enough for me to just, and plus, why are we talking about this?
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Why are you, now I play chess and I always ask why. Why are you trying to do this? That's what prompted me to start doing research. And that's when I ran across the pig butchering scheme. I said, that bitch, she trying to get my shit. Oh, hell no. Yeah. And they never asked for no money, nothing like that.
Right. I get where you're coming from now. It's a slow burner though.
It's slow. It's when I say slow, Simon, I'm talking about sometimes this shit takes 6 months to a year. Sometimes 2 years. This is not a quick shot. This is what's called playing the long game.
Yeah.
Would you be patient for two years for 500,000?
500,000. I don't know if that's worth 2 years for me personally, but I mean, I would say people need to value themselves a bit more, and I think people don't, and that's the problem. It's like we don't actually value ourselves enough. I always say to people, and I always have, weigh yourself and see what that looks like in gold, and then sort of come to a figure and see if they'll melt that shit down. Go to a pawnbroker or something and see what they ask you for, because you'll figure out quite quickly, as a minimum, how much you're worth. Because people don't understand this sort of stuff. They're just tripping. It's like you are an actual human being that someone has invested in for years on years on years. like my child, even me, my mother, you know, invested. You're a grown man, like you're a grown human being. That costs money, like minimum what, 25K a year, and we're tripping over sort of like, I don't know, 30, 50, maybe even 70 a year, just trying to get by. Nah, you know, I mean, I don't know. We need to figure this stuff out a bit more in depth. That's and this is the thing. This is why people are quite happy to sort of like be susceptible to this sort of stuff, because they're like looking for a quick fix in a short change situation. Whereas, like, you know,
I think a lot of people do want that quick fix, but
that's a great point and a great that's a great point, and it's a great note to go ahead and close the show on. We went past the 2-hour mark. Simon, you made really good points. Loved it. So closing final thoughts. We'll start with Chris. What's your final thoughts? And go on and shout your channel out.
Well, I didn't know about this scam, so thanks, Dr. John, for explaining it. It was really interesting.
All right.
I would say I wasn't worried about this scam when I was dating, but I had a rule. So basically, if the guy didn't make any, like if he didn't ask me out on a date within about like 2 days, that date was going to be within like the week or the next 2 weeks, I would just kind of stop talking to him. I would assume like, oh, you're either not real or you're not serious. So I think for most women, it's really difficult to be logical when you have gone through trauma, because trauma bonding is real, where you've been through something bad and you meet someone else who's been through something bad, and then you think you have a connection immediately. It's really hard to like think logically when you think that you've made a connection and that you love somebody. So I recommend just getting out early, like before you even get attached to them or that connection even starts. Just get out early when you start figuring out signs that you may not actually meet this person in real life soon. Sorry, my breath. My house is a lot of stairs. Okay. I like ran down and it came back up. I think that's probably the biggest one. That's the biggest tip I would give for women is to just try to keep the time that you're connecting with someone online and not face to face to an absolute minimum, because it's really, really easy to connect with someone and them not even be real. Like connecting with like an invisible person is really easy, but very unsafe, I guess I could say, especially now with this scam existing. And yeah, I hope no one gets scammed in 2023. Fingers crossed. Yeah. And I guess that's it for my little tips on the show. I do have a channel called Living Ebony, which will be back soon. I'm wrapping up my 3rd blog post on my website, so my website will be published soon. And then also my Instagram is @LivingEbony, if anyone wants to follow me on there. And that is it. I hope everyone had a happy New Year celebration, and I wish everyone a great 2023.
Nice.
Yay. That's your cues. I don't have.
Bye, Chris.
Bye, Chris. All right, Neat. Final thought.
I knew it. I'm in the please don't come to me.
Always do the ladies first and then do us last.
Come to me next. I said, I bet you he gonna come to me next.
Yep.
Okay. Final thought.
Do you echo?
I'm echoing? Yeah, I'm echoing.
No.
Final thoughts. So, don't trust. Always research. Always investigate. Point, period, blank. That's it.
Hey.
Don't forget to subscribe to CKQ Podcast, because we here every Tuesday at 8:30 p.m. EST time. And check out Meek is the Night Instagram, 3 Married Ladies Instagram and YouTube. Peace.
Peace.
Simon.
Yo, it's been a very monumental broadcast, I would say. Thank you, Doctor. Thank you, Clement. Happy New Year, Nika's night. Bloom and Emily, and everyone that's in the chat and everyone else. You know, Happy New Year. 2023 is going to be a bit different. We're going to be seeing some different stuff, you know. So I appreciate you. Thank you very much. I'm over at Simon Hectic, Perfectly Imperfect, live on YouTube. Check it out. Peace and blessings. God.
Perfectly Imperfect is you. When do you typically go live?
So
schedule, or is it like sporadic kind of thing?
Yeah, so there's always going to be a regular weekend broadcast, but sometimes people hit me up and they're like, I want to come up on certain days, because obviously I'm in a different time zone. So I will facilitate that. I have no problem doing that. And we don't know what it's going to be like in the future. But regularly, weekends, I'm available. If anyone wants to just hit me up, send me an email. We can chat and chop up whatever you want to chop up. You know, I'm representing people. That's what I do.
Okay.
But peace to you, Clement, man. I really appreciate you, and Happy New Year. You know, I'm gonna come over there one of these days, man. I swear to God, it's gonna be hilarious. But yeah, keep up your boxing and all the rest of it. Check you out later, bro.
Appreciate you, man. Happy New Year, my friend.
And Clement.
Thank you for watching the show. Thank you for tuning in tonight. My name is Clement. I'm one of the people on the CKQ podcast show. We go live at 8:30 p.m. Eastern every week. Every now and then we'll be going to be dropping some videos sporadically throughout the week. If you're online dating, the second people start talking about money, that should already be red flags. If you're dating, you shouldn't be money, unless once you guys have seen each other, once you guys have went out a couple of times, then that's when the money talk happens. And if at that point in time you get scammed, then you know that was an elaborate scam. You got scammed. That's legit. But if you're online with someone and you're talking, and you should never put out money to someone that you're just talking to online. Don't do it ever. But yeah, that's it. Hope you enjoyed the show.
Awesome. All right. So thank you, Clement, for giving me this platform to be able to even talk about this. My final thoughts on it would be ditto what Clement just said. And then, you know, typically people, they do transition you to another app. So they have to give you their number to do that if it's on WhatsApp. If the country code, the first 2 digits of that number, the first 2 to 3 digits of the number that they give you to transfer over to WhatsApp or Telegraph, that's the country code. Google that country code and see if it matches anything they've already told you. If you look at it and it's a 1, it's the United States, then for a 7-day free trial on a different email address, you can go to Be Verified and you can run their name, you can run their phone number and do a reverse search like that. And if nothing come back, just block them. Don't even waste your time any further, because they already told you 3 lies, possibly more. So we don't have nothing to talk about. We don't have anything to talk about. That was the other tip that I wanted to give you. People who won't get on camera, they don't video chat you, that's a huge red flag, but it doesn't necessarily mean, because you got some people that are extremely shy on camera, they don't like the way they look, they just met you, they scared they're gonna run you off. And they not talk, if they won't get on camera, they're not talking about money, worst case scenario, you might be getting catfish.
Fair enough.
If they're not willing to meet you within at latest a month, now you're just wasting your time.
Yeah.
No,
big
now you're
fact.
just wasting your time. There's too many other people out there. Or here's a thought. Here's a damn thought. You could go to church. You could go to church where people are there and you can meet, see, touch, taste, smell them in person, and you don't have to worry about it. All right.
Then, hallelujah, my friend. Hallelujah.
Okay. So with that being said, we're gonna go ahead and close the show. And peace, love, and chicken grease, and we out.
If we're doing everything right, I think we should be vetting our wives, like go to their parents, go to their fathers.
They know they shouldn't have let me start speaking my mind in the booth. Start speaking the truth. Might get shocked.
I think you're just saying, okay, actions have consequences, and I'm not going to support this person's actions. Like, you don't have to cancel them and say, like, I'm never, I hate you.
Innocent lives have to die.
But the whole thing is me and her I also. That man was on the other side doing the exact same thing, and his decision with his eyes was to walk away.
Inside your soul.
Now we can paint the perfect picture.